welcome back to deadline day, through the night now.
Hello everyone.
We're through. I mean, I was looking at what was happening. Ped sent off. Cam is here, joined by Cam.
Yes.
Cam, Ped will be in, and he's in and out, letting his dinner go down. We've not been afforded.
No, I was going to say some of us didn't get that.
No. There you go. Paige has been coming out with some revelations while we've been having our dinner. I'm not going to share them, but they are incredible.
Incredible.
They are incredible.
But
fair play to Paige.
Yeah, she's had a good time.
There's not really much you can say.
We're still tracking flights, are we?
She loves it.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Find out where Valencia is.
Yeah. Dennis Sacholerzi's on his way. 18-year deal. 700 grand a week.
Dendonker's just signed for Villa.
Yeah, 13 million.
Mm.
Dan James actually signed you?
Yeah.
Alright, happy days.
Isn't he?
Has he? I can't wait for him to sign.
Dan James.
Yeah. He'd have been absolutely
I
woeful
can't
for
wait to see him
Everton.
in the Everton team on Saturday.
It's going to be a Adama Traore, innit?
Yeah. Said
5
this,
to
didn't
11.
He
Adama
said
Traore.
before.
Yeah, it's Adama Traore.
Adama
Big
Traore.
Adama.
Farewell with the baby oil.
Yeah. Telling you, Steve.
He caused Liverpool issues.
just like-
He caused Liverpool issues, he will. Yeah, all over him.
Yeah.
I'd caused Trent Alexander-Arnold issues. He's pony, so you may as well go and get
Going the other
Bloody-
way, not them.
Traore. Yeah, but
Hello,
God,
40
was that
yards
Michael
strike
Enkel,
on
ain't
Saturday.
not a chance.
The,
Maybe.
on the way.
Hello.
How have you found it so far then, the window? Because obviously there's 3 hours to go. Everton will be announcing their 8th signing, I imagine, very short.
8.
Which is a lot of signings. Me and you sat there a few
gonna
weeks
say, yeah.
ago and had a chat, and
What have we done? It was only
done quite. No,
Have we since then?
Yeah.
Mopey
Mopey
and Garner.
Garner.
Yeah. I still think we're short an attacking option, if I'm being honest. I still think we could do with another striker or player that can play across the 3. Pedro would have been decent had we have not waited until this morning to decide we wanted him. I'm not convinced on Everton Diaz, if I'm being honest, but I'd take him at this point because I'd take anybody. But I'm happy with Mopey. I think he's a good signing. I think he's a horrible snide, for lack of a better phrase, without getting in trouble. And I think that's the type of player that Everton love. We've just lost somebody who was very similar to that, who was loved and who we're still all sticking up for on social media, even though he's not an Everton player anymore. He can score goals. His goal scoring record isn't amazing, but with the position that Everton are in, it'd be very difficult for us to go and get a proven amazing goal scorer. It's either going to be someone that's a good goal scorer and played in the Prem, or someone that is a risk abroad that could be a great goal scorer but could also be a Moise Keane who comes in and just doesn't hit the ground running. So I'm happy with Mopey.
Moise Keane on loan.
Can we get
Moise
Moise
Keane
Keane
on
back on loan?
I'm happy with Garner back. I think his interview was quite touching today.
Okay.
And obviously he improves Everton. That the lad's not only was at the top of his game when he left, but has just spent 3 years playing next to arguably the greatest footballer ever to have lived. One of the greatest young players on the planet, and also in midfield, Verratti, who is unbelievably underrated as a footballer. He's absolutely amazing. So I think he improves us and is another option. And I think my biggest problem the other day against Leeds was the lack of any real option off the bench. I think you could tell with 20 minutes to go, Iwobi was absolutely ran out of steam, and can't blame him because he's been excellent recently. Gray was literally fell on his feet as soon as the final whistle went. Gordon was knackered. So getting players in like James Garner Gay, options, hopefully another forward, I think it'll do us good. But I honestly do think the team will change when Mopey's in there, because all of a sudden we've got a focal point, which we haven't had all season.
And obviously
Dom's
close.
close to coming back. The Core as well.
Yeah.
So we're looking stronger. We still could do with another forward, but let's wait for Josh King at 11:05, and then we'll all get another scram.
Do you think that Everton will bring in a forward? 3 hours.
I'd hope so, but I don't think Everton are in.
Do you want a forward or like an inside forward though?
I just want anybody that can play across the
We were
3.
saying before, weren't we, Baz, about if you got Dom, Malpai, can Everton really afford to have?
Oh, but we can have
two
another side.
Not too high paid players on the bench strike-wise, but we're a club who are probably going to finish anywhere between 10th and 15th maybe. I just think with the lack of money we've got anyway, it's a lot to ask.
No, we need someone that can play across the free.
Like a Brose, you
ultimately.
were saying.
Yeah,
like
we need someone that can play across the free because we've got Gordon there who's been very good in the last couple of weeks, and McNeil, who I thought had a good game the other day. Some people don't seem to think, but I thought he had a good game. But other than them, being under the and we also don't know what's going to happen with Iwobi. Is Iwobi going to be kept at centre midfield, or now that we've got Garner and Decore coming back, will he be moved back as a winger? I'd hope not, because he's been excellent at centre midfield. He's better at centre midfield, he's great. So if Iwobi stays in the centre of mid, we've only got Dwight McNeil and Gordon then, and Gray. So get one injury to one of them.
You don't move someone who's
you've got no options. So we need a wide player that can also do what Richarlison did and sit in and play up front at the same time. But if an out and out striker walked through that door in an Everton kit now, I also wouldn't be displeased, because we need goals ultimately. The other day was there for the taking. They were awful defensively, absolutely there for the taking. And if it's not our right back that has a shot on the edge of the box, then maybe it goes in. And if maybe it's not Onana who's only been at the club for a couple of weeks, and it's somebody else, maybe that chance goes in. So we need forward options ultimately. I think we've strengthened the midfield. I think the defence have been sound, absolutely sound the other day. So it'll be interesting.
I think it's got to the stage now where it'll be a domestic loan, if anything, for the player.
Who do you reckon?
Well,
I honestly don't think it'll be Broja.
Well, there's talk now. Fabrizio Romano's just said, "Watch out for Memphis Depay," and he's been linked with Chelsea all afternoon. He's been linked with Chelsea all afternoon. He can play wide or he can play up top, and that means they have Aubameyang, Havertz, and Depay then, and he can use Sterling as well. I just don't see a European player coming into the club this late now.
No, it'd be difficult because of work payments and stuff like that as well, and all.
That's my only thinking.
It probably won't be domestic.
Put their all eggs in one basket and just waited.
That was what I thought about the Chukwueze stuff yesterday. As soon as I read it, I thought it doesn't matter how interested we are and how likely they are. That's too difficult of a deal to do over that period of time. It wouldn't get done.
Do you think the same, Baz, with that
money involved?
Domestic wise now?
I think if they were gonna do anything, it'd have to be domestic, but.
Not convinced?
I don't think we'll do anything else.
No, just Garner.
I just can't.
Sorry, everyone.
I just can't see where they're gonna do. Listen,
we've been in this position before, though, haven't we? We've been in this position before.
Listen, it takes a phone call from an agent to go.
Telly come out of absolutely nowhere in January.
No, but it was bubbling. There's nothing really bubbling. If Everton, listen, like I've just said, an agent could contract Everton and go, these are prepared to let him go now on loan, and it's a very quick, with loans it's very quick to sort out, so I'm hoping that it isn't the case.
Ajax might just say at 11:30, you know, 10:30, you know what, go ahead lad, see you later.
I personally think that one's done. Kudos
to Everton. Just
because of their
no, because the transfer window shut in it, and
that's the issue,
and they've lost Anthony as well. They've lost Anthony, and
imagine it though.
They didn't bring Ziyech in who they wanted.
No, I'd have him.
Yeah, that's sad. They're keeping as many as I think. And
imagine him.
Batman, obviously Batman's joining. Forest.
Big Batman.
Like
Forest 825th signing of the summer, man.
But then again,
we're getting into that territory, aren't we? Of just anyone. Just anyone.
The problem is with, and I understand anyone who says no, and I'd probably be saying it myself as well, but he can't play wide, can he?
No, he can barely play up front.
So therefore, you're putting a wage on a bench that's not
going to be effective. And which we've done in the last 2 transfer windows.
Yeah. So we'd have to, we just
with players that just sit on the bench, and El Ghazi and Josh King, players that were just there, who may as well have not been there. But it'd be interesting because the club might come out and go, look, there was no one available that we deemed was acceptable, so we didn't bring anybody in.
Yeah.
Or they'll go and bring somebody in and go, we just needed somebody. We'll wait and see. Garner will be in over the next hour or so, I assume. You'll know if we're bringing somebody else in the later that the Garner deal isn't announced. Otherwise, that'll be the 11 o'clock one, won't it?
I think when you're looking at it, who realistically now you're looking and thinking, like, who could Everton get in, and that's going to make any kind of difference and take away your time, You look around and you go, like you said, anyone in your Chuck Weezy and all of those.
No, it's not never happening.
That would have had to have been started 2 days ago before, to have a chance of being today. So you're looking around and thinking, well, okay, Adama Traore will, all right, he'd make it. But then again, he's not getting in Wolves' team. So and
he's got no end product, so he fit right in Everton.
So you bring him in, probably a good wage, and then what's happening with that? He comes in on a good wage, doesn't really get in, doesn't really affect it. So if it's not him...
Pace off the bench, I suppose, will be the big thing people would say about him. Somebody to bring off the bench with 20 minutes to go and run at people and scare people.
But then, Ben, Brayton, Diaz, if they're turning around saying they want 20+ million for him, he's free in the summer.
Yeah, you wait 6 months to get him on a pre-contract.
Just get him on a pre-contract. That's Blackburn. It's really, to be honest, it's shocking business by Blackburn.
Do you reckon he's the most likely?
I think
out of everybody.
I think if any...
Him or Brozier,
will be...
Close by Christian.
Brozier,
I don't know.
Might be an outside one if the pie went to Chelsea. But I don't know.
Do you not think they'll be thingy because of the Gordon situation? I think they'll just say
because like Ped said, that's a different thing.
I get it, but I'm just...
If you're them, no. See, this is where...
Didn't they approach us for Gordon again yesterday?
Today
was it today?
I don't know whether that's real, but...
Mathew in the middle,
I think the thing about it is... When they had Mourinho, he knew, like with Lukaku, he was like, we're not going to use him.
So we may as well get him out.
He can go and develop. And he'll also do damage to teams who are around us. If other teams have got better players.
And we'll make a lot of money on him.
But I don't think they're not as clever now because they've made changes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different owner.
It's a different owner. I don't think he's nowhere near as clever.
So what you're saying to me, Baz, is that Brozier could come in on deadline day like Lukaku and be amazing, and we could finish in the top 5?
No, not the top 5. Even if we got him, not the top 5.
Yeah, you
what
never
I'm
know.
saying is that came about late on, didn't it? That was because Mourinho was clever.
Yeah, and then made £30 million on him the year after.
But I don't think they're clever.
And also, I don't think Brozier's anywhere near the level that Lukaku was at.
Lukaku's level.
Lukaku was
but he's someone who can create himself a goal.
Oh yeah, no, I'd take him all day. Of course.
But we'll see anyway.
Might be a Moise Keane once day. Might have to get a little
Moise Keane on loan.
Moise Keane on loan, man. Back on loan.
Keane back.
Give Rondon a contract extension.
Tell Juve.
Would that mean to you if we don't get another forward? Would you say the club can't allow Rondon to leave? Can they? Really?
No for numbers, but
that's what you'd say.
No for numbers. Can they? No.
And there's been not even. I'm surprised as Gomez been.
He's in France, isn't he now?
I'm really surprised there's not been more for Alan.
Well, there was Monza in
Italy. I'm more surprised about.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm surprised.
He won't get much game time, will he? He'll go in January.
He's just a squad, isn't he?
He'll go in
January. Or he might just see his contract out and go next summer.
Make his money.
I'm quite surprised by that.
I just think we leave ourselves weak. I don't think we're
a lot of midfielders we've got.
dreadful, but I just think we leave ourselves weak.
The problem is we haven't even got.
That's me thing. That's my question about Iwobi though.
We've not even got a kid who you can. We haven't even got Ellis. Like I'm not listening. Ellis Sims isn't nowhere near ready, and whether he'd even be.
Cannon's going out on loan, isn't he, as well?
So, but we haven't even got. No. This is the issue, right? It's not like when we had the Charlison as well, and we got the Charlison. Yeah, we've got Maupay and we've got Dom. Say Dom breaks down again, then Maupay's the only option we've got.
Or we're back.
Maupay got injured.
We're back where we are.
We haven't got anybody. No, that's what I'm saying. If Rondon goes,
yeah.
So I don't know how you could let Rondon.
No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to. I don't think he'd go anyway. I just can't see it. As in now, this late in the window.
You remember the Turkish window's open longer, where he's been linked.
Don't until next week. Unless we want him.
I can't believe we're sitting here having a conversation about needing to keep Solomon Rondon and Everton.
No.
It's absolutely shocking. But
no, it's not great, but it's the position.
No, it is the position that we're in, and ultimately we've got to do what we've got to do.
But the club also might look at it and think we've got 2.5 months until the window opens, basically again, because the World Cup's in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Then they're back a week and then the window opens, aren't they?
And they might look at it like that, and it gives them time to get that the actual wide
The only
play they want.
Listen, I get
Do
it.
you get what I mean? It's
There's no point.
rather than rushing
There's no point panicking.
Yeah.
Right? But you just look and think, okay, if everyone stays fit, then you'd go, we're all. You got Maupam, you got Dom.
When does that ever happen?
Exactly, and that's the problem. Like, it doesn't really happen to us. But there isn't even a stopgap. Well, I suppose if they kept Rondon, there would be. But
that's me thing about Iwobi is I wouldn't be surprised to see him push back to being a winger.
But I think
it'd be a shocking decision. It would be stupid, but the reality is we've now got 80-12 midfielders.
Does he? He doesn't score goals, does he, Iwobi?
Our midfield three should be them three. Iwobi, Garner, Onana, and that's it. Doesn't change. The Corey fights for his place and comes in and is an option. Yeah. One of them drops out every now and then. Probably Garner because of his age. Or Iwobi because, again, needing a rest. But that shouldn't change. But then that obviously requires us keeping with a 4 at the back.
Anthony, sorry, Anthony, we know it's Risha Garner Gay's sign, but Everton haven't announced James Garner yet. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about James.
Yeah.
I'll start calling him James because then
James,
people start thinking about hammers and just
JJ.
I've lost my point now, Anthony. So yeah, we've got options there ultimately, and that was my thought. Is wonder if also I think I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that we played 4 at the back against Leeds. I'm not necessarily sure that was due to Lampard wanting to change things or more out of necessity of Mason Holgate not being there. Had Mason Holgate been fit, would we have gone with a 4 at the back against Leeds? I don't think we would have. I think we'd have gone with a 5 at the back. So that begs the question as to when Mason Holgate returns, do we go back with a 5 at the back? Or Ben Goffrey, do we go back with a 5 at the back? Which obviously means we won't have 3 in midfield.
I suppose it depends.
So
the thing, doesn't it?
We continue. I think we'll play 5 at the back on Saturday. I do. I think he'll play Keenan there. Yeah, I do. I think we'll play 5 at the back. I don't know whether Garner hasn't played for 2.5 months.
Keane can't play.
So he's been training, yeah, but
I think
Keane's terrible in a 4 as well.
The issue, I think the issue with that is that you can't give that Liverpool midfield that much time. 2 against
their weakness as well.
Doesn't work.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is I'd go with a 4, but I'm saying did he go with a 4? No, because he needed to, or he felt he needed to, or did he go with the 4 because he wants? Same with the Iwobi stuff.
Press conference though, didn't he? And said they were looking around, and he might have changed that anyway.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but sometimes you change it, and then you go, actually, like when he went to 3 at the back, that was kind of a thing of like we keep giving goals away. That wasn't his perfect formation.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah,
he went to it, and then all of a sudden it got results. So he was like, "Oh, we'll stay with this for now."
I thought we'd done really well to nullify Leeds' pressure and I watched them against Chelsea the other week and thought we're going to get absolutely torn down here, and we dealt with it. We had Brennan Radisson running round like a headless chicken, just passing it round them all game, frustrating them. We just needed
a focal
not a right back to be on the end of the biggest chance of the game.
Yeah.
And a focal point, yeah, exactly, which was disallowed. And if Patterson had squared it, it'd have been 2-1 comfortably.
He had to square it.
But I think if he would have, it'd have been 2-1 comfortably. Hey, you leave him alone. He's been in good form recently.
Has he?
He scored.
He scored a couple of goals. That was it. Yeah. Dark Arts says Che Adams has scored 4 goals so far. He knows where the goal is.
He's going nowhere.
You're not
on loan anyway.
You're not doing that kind of deal.
Not now. These deals are too complicated. There's too much money involved to do them. Right, it'll be somebody who the team he's playing at isn't really that interested about losing him, or is desperate for money. It won't be somebody that is going to haggle and fight with you because they'll just say no. It's like if Chelsea come in for Gordon now, no chance. I said yesterday. I know Lampard said after Leeds, but I said yesterday it'd be absolutely shocking if Everton were to even consider selling him at this point in the window. Because yes, we'd get the money, but what good's the money being in the bank account until January? Because we wouldn't be able to spend it, or we'd spend it on somebody that a team would see us coming and go, well, we want an extra 30 million for him because you're desperate for him, and then we'd waste it. It had to be last week at least.
Well, if it was gonna be after Leeds, it would have had to be say like 40 million plus per year.
A player on a permanent would have had to have come in.
The only deal, because there's like you say, there's no point. If you
there's
want,
no time, just
you got that money, you want that money where you can plan.
Yeah.
You don't want the money where there's no time
exactly.
to do the deal.
No.
We could be in a dangerous situation by January without him, and then teams go, oh, these need some money, so we'll charge them 80 million for Che Adams, who's a good player, but there's nowhere near that money. And that's what teams do. Teams play it like that. That's how they run their businesses. So, and plus he's been, since the speculation started, he's been very good.
He'll be.
And he loves that little ear in the hands in the air celebration, doesn't he? Loves that, man.
Honestly, that
all over that, man. Yeah, 10. Not the 20, please. 3 times on Saturday, please, Anthony.
Yes, definitely. Daz says Barkley spotted outside Toffee TV with his CV.
He's in there having a scran now.
Just scranning there, going, just waiting for the call to get to Finn's farm, lad. And obviously free transfer, isn't he? So he could sign it.
Going to Scotland, didn't he?
He won't be
going to Celtic.
He won't be coming back to Everton.
I'm not convinced, if I'm being honest. I'm really not convinced.
It's another midfielder.
Neither are you, by the look of your face.
I'm convinced.
Isn't it another midfielder?
I'm convinced.
If he
do you reckon Steve's convinced?
Yeah, I'm convinced.
I don't reckon Steve's convinced. Steve's definitely not convinced.
But again, it's another one. It would have been done by now.
I don't know.
The smack is...
Classic 11:05.
Is the thing.
Welcome back. And he gets a big montage like Rooney did when he come back. Him signing
Not a chance.
the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, Telly's gone 10p.
Yeah, that's...
Telly's gone full 10p. Who's that? Craig Pawson?
Pawson, yeah.
Look at Tielemans there thinking, why am I here?
Yeah, Tielemans is
Why
like,
am
why
I
am
here,
I
man?
wearing a red top?
Muscles on him. He's nearly got bigger arms than me. Disaster there. I agree, it is debatable and nowhere near as big as Man City. You're right. On second thought, on reflection, he's got a lot of work to do.
Jamie Crellin says evening boys on a few pints.
On a Thursday is right, lad.
And Curtin that the bat has gone to Forest.
The Batman.
Yeah.
Batman.
The Batman.
Juice break.
Awful free kick.
Owen Brown says it's the pie, mate, isn't it, Ped? He's known for all along. Spill now.
Imagine
Memphis Depay with his big lion tattoo.
I know.
He's just everything that comes with him,
yeah. He's a rapper, isn't he?
Knows where the goals is, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Dick L says, I've literally just got in what's going on, lads. I heard Garner is in, any others. James Garner will be confirmed soon, Dick, and that. Right now, is it?
Is it?
Yeah, Garner, Onana.
Yeah.
Then there's got to be a good song to be made there. Onana's
2
already got
hours
18
40
songs.
minutes to go. Come on, Everton. Just that thing again, innit?
It's a rundown. It's
every year, innit?
Again,
yeah, Bella Frozen. Bella Ross Barkley back, but
No.
Ross is a false sign.
Forward just isn't happening, is it? Extremely disappointing. We've left it this late because we don't have the goals right now to get us higher up the league. It's a really risky business. I think we've had a decent window, but we've really messed this up, not getting another forward in.
Richie on loan.
Take him.
I do think that it also highlights, and not to have a go at the lad, but it just highlights that McNeil signing was absolutely stupid.
Strange, wasn't it?
And that's not Dwight McNeil's fault.
Scored 10 goals for us this season.
That's not Dwight McNeil's fault, by the way. But it just seems very panicky.
Maya's saying 3 tops, which is interesting because that was 20 minutes ago, which would not include Garner.
So
it's a Garner, so that would include.
It just makes that signing a bit more bemusing for me, to be honest with you.
We should have got, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just because of the lack of goals, like nothing. 1-0 United.
I think he'll score 10 this season, mate.
What if the pie goes to Chelsea?
That's what we were saying before about Brozier. Yeah. I just think it. Yeah, it's.
Well, if he's gonna go, we need to make a decision because right now it looks like we're.
How is he still in a job, by the way?
I've just got the nod.
Oh, Ped's got some nod.
Not on Everton.
Ah.
On that.
Go on there.
Is it that deal in Domino's with the pizzas?
Maybe.
Oh. It's the deal in Domino's with the pizzas?
He might just try and get free transfer.
Cryptic Ped.
That's what it's all about.
So we won't go tonight then. So it'll be.
Pie.
It won't
Yeah, but if
matter.
they know he's going.
Oh, sounds so lovely.
If they know he's going.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, then it's 2 hours to go, isn't it?
It's 2 hours to go. Get big Armando on a train. Or a plane. Preferably a train for the environmentalists out there, but might have to be a plane.
Yeah, the
Well done, team.
just lack of goals is worrying.
Worrying, yeah, it is. It is.
From
The wingers need to
At
ultimately
the
chip in with
moment,
more.
we're relying on Anthony Gordon to get us another
Yeah, or Gray.
11 goals this season. Or Gray to get another 6 past last season. That's what up until January anyway, that's what we would be relying on.
Yeah, well, Dom will.
So we probably need
Hopefully
Anthony Gordon to be on.
We need Anthony
8
Gordon
goals
to play the
by-
form
We
of his
need
career.
Dom fit.
And Anthony
Dom
Gordon needs to
Dom's
play the form
fit.
of his career.
Dom will score goals.
Yeah.
done
No,
it.
he will.
Mopay will score
most
goals.
seasons.
Mopay will score
Mopay
goals.
will get a couple
I
of
honestly
goals.
think Mopay will come in and we'll be like, oh my god, because we haven't had I know Rondon's a striker, but
No.
let's be honest, Rondon isn't a footballer. Even, did you see that Fleetwood player calling him a non-league player in his interview?
Yeah.
That's quality, that. Great.
Scandalous.
So just having a striker in there for the first time this season
Defo
will
went
make it
only
look
an
different.
Liverpool player who said that, by the way,
Yeah.
Definitely.
wasn't he? Yeah, no, I agree with you, Cam. It will. I've said it. I could see what was happening in terms of structure and the way we were playing, even when people were whinging after like Forest and that. You could see what we were doing, but we were shocking in the final third.
Yeah.
The last two we've looked better. Gordon's been much better.
We've
Graham's been
created this
sharp.
time, last two.
But now if you actually get a specialised striker in that mix,
Yeah, who's a horrible snide as well. Scores on Saturday, by the way. Telling you
he's
all.
very much.
Scores on Saturday.
He's very much in the Richarlison thing of winding people up.
Which means
he's worse
with
than
Yerry Mina,
Richarlison.
which means he
And
will be
Mina,
loved at Everton.
Yeah,
He will absolutely be loved here.
it's whether or not he can get the goal.
He's a
Never
bit like
really.
Vardy, I think, in that sense. Gives it to fans as well, doesn't he?
No, he does. Vardy's much better,
Yeah.
but
Not now.
Yeah.
he's still good. Vardy. Actually, I'd still take him.
Yeah. He gets it.
Yeah, but we're in the
But he
point where
couldn't
we're talking about taking in a Valencia, to be
Yeah,
fair. So I'd take
Cameron Jones, I was on about.
Cameron Jones, man.
And Ricardo Fuller.
Ricardo Fuller. Oh,
Take him.
remember him, Ricardo Fuller.
Shout him, any Ricardo
Shout,
Fuller.
man. Shout, you know.
They're the ones, mate.
Ricardo Fuller, man. What about Joe? Do you have Joe?
Joe, Brazilian Joe.
Brazilian Joe.
Boys couldn't say his name. Not called him Brazilian Joe.
Brazilian
Like we had
Joe,
12
man.
Joe. Like
We had
there was
loads of
Kenny.
Joes.
We had as well.
Kenny Joe.
I know. Yeah,
Second they call him Brazilian Fred.
Brazilian Joe.
Or just Joe. I mean, just
Probably
Fred.
just
Fred.
There's probably no reason to call him
Yeah,
Brazilian.
but there was no reason to call Joe Brazilian Joe.
That's what
And
I
we
mean.
still did.
That's what I'm saying.
So they called him Afro Joe.
I mean,
He had an Afro.
I know what I'm saying. I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's as valuable as Brazilian Joe. It's done the same.
Yeah, to be
thing.
fair, he
Didn't it?
was.
Done the same thing.
Did.
Um,
goals.
Can I get Ronaldo?
Lucina Traore.
well, we had the option.
Sui.
Suey. Everton Viking says even keeping Rondon is pointless. He doesn't score goals.
See,
He
it's
doesn't
not
fit the
there.
system. He doesn't hold the ball up. It's just a
He doesn't.
training cone up for shape. We all knew since the start of the window we needed another forward before Richarlison left and two after he did.
Just a training go.
Who would you rather have
Go
up front? Rondon or that Real Madrid wall?
Oh, yeah.
The wall.
The wall.
that
The
jumps
Humpy
up,
wall.
that-
What a
that every
quality.
day
The
to me.
wall, man.
I'd rather have Dunk, no?
Yeah, I was going to say Dunk, to be fair.
Um,
Dunk, man. The
and
wall.
we've added one with Dom still being injury prone. So you can be as solid as you want in midfield. Oof.
Oh.
Just the
Oh.
Vardy's going to
Jump.
leave one on him.
Oh.
It feels like we've did it so long on what forwards to bring in. We've just tried to gamble and lost all the cards. Other than that, it's a good window. Some top young prospects in Onana and Garner. The rest are solid pros and leaders.
What would you both rate it out of 10 if we only bring in James Garner now?
What, today or the window in general?
The window in general.
7.
I'd say it's a 7. For the simple, I know why people would say it's less, because they'd say
I don't think it can
we
be
needed a
less.
striker, and we haven't got it.
Actually, yeah.
But what I would say
You
is
got Mopay
to bring in Cody and Tarkovsky, two good defenders.
for nothing.
For nothing. Both good defenders and have made us look better, seen better. Then to have Garner,
2
James
million.
Garner and Onana in midfield.
Yeah.
To also have the backup left back.
Yeah,
Vinagre,
Yeah.
some actual cover at left back.
He should have come on the other
And
day
to have
against Leeds.
Maupay come into the squad.
Yeah.
To be honest, mate, I said 5 to you the other week. And
Given
you
where we were
going,
last summer,
"What?
by the way.
5, you were saying, I don't think it will, I don't think it will.
I just think it's
We're
the
about
goals,
to
it's the
finish
goals,
with
though, mate.
8. No, I know.
It's the goals.
And that-
James Garner's massively rated at them as well, you know. I've seen
No,
a lot
no,
of Man
yeah,
United
I
fans
it's
saying they
just-
don't want him to go.
Yeah.
It's buoyant.
It's just a... Yeah, it's...
No, I get where you're coming from.
yeah.
There's no guarantee of goals there.
It's the
Goals is the worry.
Brozier would top it off. Full cherry on top,
Oh, yeah.
sprinkles, ice and
He's
strawberry
not
sauce.
guaranteed goals, but I
No,
do
he's
like
not,
him.
he's
No,
not.
but
I
he's-
do
He's
like him.
not.
And he's a threat, and he's
It's just...
powerful.
No one's guaranteed goals. I think I
What
read a
about
stat
Gary
the other day.
Goals?
Gary Goals
What
is
about
guaranteed
Gary
goals.
Goals?
Gary Goals is goals. The gaff that you play footy round the corner. That's guaranteed goals. as well.
Sky is
Loads of
saying we're
goals.
still pushing for a striker.
What was I going to say then?
Sky would.
They will, because they want...
Small club though, not as big as Brighton.
That's it, man. That's it, man. Big Brighton, man. They do call them Big Brighton.
Big Brighton.
They do call them. They'll be saying big as Brentford soon, and their footy stadiums are literally a park with 3 benches.
I don't know.
Guinness was nice there, though. Guinness was nice.
Not Brentford.
Tiny stadium, but the Guinness was nice. Yeah, good point.
Dick Ellis happy. He's most happy that Anthony Gordon hasn't left.
Tony G said.
Yeah, I don't know if you should say
Tony
it,
G.
Tom says, I like how this year we've built from the back. Now we've sorted midfield. Hopefully a striker. Also, how nice is it to have 2 fullbacks that are 6 foot?
Are they?
Patterson 6'1".
It's nice to have a right.
I don't know whether Miko is 6 foot, because I walked
5'11".
past him in America and he didn't look 6. Being a 6'3" human myself.
It's nice to have a right wing.
He didn't look 6 foot.
A right back who gets in their box.
Yeah. Even though he didn't do anything when he was in there.
I know, but
it's good. It's good.
I like Patterson.
Yeah,
he was great the other day. Patterson was man of the match the other day. He was unbelievable. His grit and his fight. And even against Brentford, I'd seen a stat saying he won 2 3-on-1s. He won a 3-on-1 twice.
Yeah,
he was
actually
one in the
first
half. He knocked it and then knocked it again. It was great. Right in front of us.
Jack Harrison's their best player.
Jack Harrison's a good player.
I thought you were going to say we were linked to Jack Harrison.
I liked him in New York.
He was good, mate. He was their best player the other night.
Player.
The only one who threatened, really.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, Anderson just ran around, didn't he? And chased.
Sinister is, if he settles down, could be good.
Sky Sports News saying James Garner is still at Finch Farm. Denise Barrett-Baxter now just left Finch Farm. Many people working hard to finalise.
We signing air up front.
To finalise
deals.
Fair.
Inquiries have been made for Ben Breton Diaz.
We know that though, don't we?
That's what Sky.
Sky are just repeating.
Yeah, they're going to.
Sky will say we're linked with Garner again in a minute.
Yeah, they're not going to think,
Martin Braithwaite is on a free.
Is he?
Stop it,
ex-Barcelona. Oh.
Yeah, Miko 5'11".
Yeah, ex-Barcelona. You just said you'd take literally any. You've just said you'd take Nias.
You said you'd take Strach.
No.
Is Martin Braithwaite better?
Nias.
Is he better than Rondon?
No.
Do you not reckon?
No.
He is.
I find it very difficult to believe.
Ron's just been playing for Barca. Rondon's been somewhere. Rondon didn't even get on the other night. He couldn't even trust him to come on the other night.
Neither did anyone else, to be fair.
If he's watching, you come join Everton if you want.
Watch James Beattie up.
It was full like
Talky McTalkface. There you go. James Jenkins on the super chat. Nice one, James. You haven't asked anything.
Is that James?
Well, fair play.
Just giving us money to pay for that dent in the side of Ned's car.
Yeah. Ned,
man. Ned relying on sensors to park his car. Nonsense, mate.
Ned is dodgy.
Don't pass a driving test doing that.
Nonsense.
My car's not got
W
sensors.
says Beattie's still running for a ball from 10 years ago.
Check Burnley's new video. They've just seen it. The deal or no deal one.
What?
The deal or no. They've just done another one. No, they've just done another one. Deal or no deal.
I reckon Dwight McNeil was the only played them. He was their Twitter admin. So when they sold them, they had to get a new one and they got an absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to know if their Twitter admin can play on the left.
That's important.
He sounds like a good player, Madman.
Braithwaite's gone to Espanyol, lads.
Braithwaite.
Yeah, Braithwaite.
Gutted.
But he hasn't had to move then, has he?
No,
he's happy.
Would have been a good signing, wouldn't he?
Aidan Miller said, what's with the Liverpool airport tweet before?
Oh yeah, did you see that?
Easy one,
Yeah, it's a Chuck Weezy tweet. He put a tweet up saying, are we expecting any arrivals with the Nigerian flag? Either that or Iwobi's leaving. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Watch this space.
That'd be
amazing. That'd be some change. That.
Evertonians would be fuming if Iwobi was sold back to Arsenal today for 36 million.
in all in instalments, £3 a year.
Yeah.
Never know.
What's Lacazette up to nowadays?
What's Dembele? Dembele didn't move, did he?
No.
Everton could get him on a pre-contract in January.
Narinda says the Union of Training Cones has just called. They want an apology for equating the vital function they perform with Rondon.
Paul Rondon.
I can't believe someone called him a training code.
Yeah.
Paul Rondon, he's a nice fella.
Yes.
He's a nice fella.
Steve Steele said they should have got Yarmolenko.
Yeah.
Lila says Leicester looks absolutely flat. Yeah, Leicester all over the place.
I was just reading and some of them are singing "We Want Rodgers Out."
Yeah. He'll be sacked, Tony. He'll be sacked.
I have to wait 3 days after it goes through then.
Wait till it snows.
Yeah.
Different class. Different class.
I know, I've seen it. I just shook my head.
Which one?
Which one?
Page at Harry Potter and the Wizard of Oz.
Harry Potter and the Wizard of Oz page.
That's scandalous.
You know, that
page.
is awful, page.
Scandalous.
That is awful.
Scandalous.
That is awful.
You better hope your ping pong balls rescue it.
The pair of you right on your social medias. I've got to put out a link to Everton and say you're in the studio and you've just heard.
No.
No. And you've just heard us talking about some player, random player. Make the name up. Going, don't know, but I believe Everton are trying to get it over the line. And see how many bites you get. Mike. Come on, do it.
Mike and Aki.
But make it up, make the name. But both of you have got to do it.
Don't say we've said it, though.
Just say we heard it.
Yeah, it's something.
No one cares. Say you heard in the studio. That, and just make a name up.
She'll pick a proper player.
No, you've got different names.
She'll go Lionel Messi.
You've got different names.
And
you get the most likes
Ashley
and
Barnes.
Do Kristen Suey, but spell Suey differently.
Christian
Do Kristen and then spell Suey differently. Yeah. Sowie. Do Sowie.
Gets the most likes, just say
Couldn't get any of them right, though, could they?
No, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Everton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everton, she put it wrong.
Even.
That was it, short.
I spelled Suey out to her and she still got it
She still got it wrong, didn't she?
Ashley
Put
Barnes.
Suey.
Ashley Barnes.
Do Darren Watkins.
Do Cam.
Do Darren Watkins, that's Speed's real name. Do Darren Watkins.
Who's this Darren Watkins?
Do Darren
Watkins linked with?
Do Darren Watkins so when they search him up it comes up with Speed.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's like 1,000 people watching so they'll get onto it, but
Yeah.
turn a blind eye. You turn a blind eye. Go with it.
People watching, retweet it. Retweet it.
And say, I've seen some YouTube clips of him. And then people are Googling him.
No, don't mention me.
Yeah.
I know what football is.
Just heard in the studio.
Do Darren Watkins, please, one of yous. No, don't do that. It's too easy. It's too easy. Page.
Well, I just seen this. Just overheard from the lads in the studio. Everton after Christian and Suey.
Oh, that's too easy as well. Christian Suey.
Christian Suey.
Ned, delete it and put Darren Watkins.
No.
Earl says Suey and Dusky.
Ned, come on.
Yeah, but it's too easy. Do
Yeah.
Darren Watkins.
Darren Watkins is a young
Watkins.
winger with electric pace and elite technical ability.
Do Darren Watkins page.
That's
and then
quality.
just say cousin of Ollie or something like that.
No, I have no idea who he is.
Carlos Vela plays for
Ned, delete yours
LAFC
because yours are too
in
obvious.
MLS.
Oh!
Suey. Like Steve Potter.
Yeah. Lila, you know what? I thought that. I did always think Marcus Rashford would end up at us.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
When
One
he's
day.
27 or
He will
something.
one
It's just
day.
that player that you kind of think.
Another couple of
See,
years
I
of being
think that was
awful and he'll be an
Scott
Everton
you
player.
know.
Yeah.
He's just got Everton written all over him,
Marcus
hasn't
Rashford will be an Everton player come the end
Scott, big
of his
Scott.
career. Probably Scott McTominay as well.
Double deal for Gordon.
I thought you said he's got double D's then, Steve. I was going to say it's a bit personal,
me.
Steve, bloody hell.
Everton after Angel Gomez.
Everyone
From
retweet pages to it.
Yeah. Just retweets go.
Get me hired,
Say
boys.
something like they left the mics on and you could hear in the background.
I've already done it. No, I just.
I'm just going to retweet with eyes, me.
People at home.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
4 retweets already.
Speedy.
I've had 4 retweets.
Yes.
Someone replied to Ned saying delete that, Ned. Unlucky.
Oh no, you know what Ned'll get? I thought you weren't supposed to sleek news.
Right,
it's right.
Yeah, you will.
I'm going to comment cryptic Ned.
Go ahead, do it. Do the eyes.
I've done the eyes.
I've done the eyes on pages.
Ned. Classic Ned.
Oh no, Kane's got it right. We should have done G-Neck.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Big G-Neck.
Oh.
70 years old. Years, mate.
Nice one. Late move for
Yeah,
Richie.
Martin James on Twitter I'm sure I just heard on Toffee TV that we are in for ping pong and should be done the deal before 11 o'clock.
Ping pong. Paige has gone and announced it.
Well, that's the first video I've seen of that.
That'd be some reveal,
Yeah,
that
that will be
Paige.
some reveal.
Bloody yeah, we'll all start sitting here watching.
Pim pam, man.
Michael Stokes says evening from Landudno. Well, it's gone a bit quiet. Tell me where you're watching from and give you some shout outs. Make sure you hit the like button though first. And
I
make
don't
sure
get
you
the joke.
subscribe.
Ollie Watkins from Villa, Clive, but no, Darren Watkins, lad. That's why it's
Yeah.
Suey. John Lavelle says, I will take James McPartland over the tree. That is wrong.
someone typed it in.
Belter, mate. Eugene Faber says, greetings from South Africa, guys. You know what he should have done? He should have done our frame with news with a picture of Speed on with Everton linked.
Oh, yeah. With his kit on. With his kit on. Yeah.
It would have been amazing,
yeah.
that, do it? According to sources in America. Everton linked with Columbus Crew winger.
Paige, you're getting it in the neck here, you know. Wait, oh, Ped, come on.
Right, let me brace through these. Michael Evening from where are we? Eugene greetings from South Africa.
It's right. I can do a good South African accent, but it might be offensive, so I'm not going to do it.
Baz 1957's in New Zealand. James is listening from Chicago. Nick is from Landovery. I reckon it's Landudno, but there you go. Ben Martin says Ruthin, North Wales. Hazel from Plymouth. Hello, Hazel.
My mom's called Hazel. She's not from Plymouth, but she's called Hazel.
Okay. Kyriakos is listening from Cyprus. Yeah. Hello. I've just seen Wallacey. Fair play.
Nice.
Ken Wilson in Blythe.
Cameron Jones.
Cameron Jones, I'd have him right now.
Cameron Jones from Finch Farm.
Yeah, Jonathan. From Finch Farm Close, just waiting for the nod. Jonathan Rodriguez listening from New Jersey. Peter Strickland, Chicago, Illinois.
Anyone from Minnesota?
Wayne from Spain. AJ, Townsville, Australia. Dark Art in the Lakes.
The Lakes, man.
Right, lads. Darren Watkins from Real Madrid, Castilla.
Yeah,
is right. Suey. Buzzkiller listening from Devon. Tommy H says better than Sky Sports. This watching from Northampton. Ingy's listening from Reykjavik. Swifty from across the river. Steve's neck of the woods.
Once put training code level, this guy.
Belter.
Darren Watkins.
Matt Bainbridge is watching from Central New York. Up the Toffees. Talking with Talkface from Baldervis in
like Speed,
Perth,
what a
Australia. Yeah, be amazing. Mike's watching from sunny Bournemouth. Seamus O'Brien, well from Ireland. Joe Rooney, Connecticut. Never mind, Chet.
Never mind, Chet.
He played.
What league is this? What league is this, Clement?
Have you seen him looking for Man United in the Portuguese league and going, oh, they're in England?
He's a belter, mate. Martin Edwards, evening from Toulouse. Joe Rooney, Connecticut, met us in Baltimore, is right, Joe. D.D. Moran soaking his crown halls in the bath watching this. Dave Hart from Whitehaven, Cumbria. John Lavelle watching from Telford. Juan Figueroa, we should sign him. He is watching from Stockholm in Sweden. Nice. Luke Burgess from Rhode Island, USA. Harry Kennedy, Menai Bridge on Anglesey. Anthony Johnson, Blue Scouser, watching in Newcastle. Eddie Barca Garcia, watching in San Antonio, Texas. GZ Con, Australia. P-Power, Halewood, 5 minutes from Finch Farm, is right. Simon B from High Peak. DMOEFC, Ottawa, Canada. Lila from Walton, just down the road from the Black Horse Pub, Cam's neck of the woods.
Know that.
Mickey Glidden watching from Warwick. Jacko watching from the Netherlands.
Let's read that out.
Tweet it out, man. Earl says Darren Watkins, Man United USA Academy product, definitely.
He falls off the chair at the end.
Shush BG watching from Croxteth. John Dickerson says he'd rather me with no legs up front than Rondon, thank you. Jeffrey says Hanover, Germany. Chris Jackson, Essex, Toffee. Everton, Yuma from Walton to California. Big Winston, Detroit, Michigan. Raoul from Mumbai in India. Mathew DeWet from Zambia. Kevin Milner watching from Newcastle tonight. That's the one you want to put up. Andrew Josephson watching from Madison, Wisconsin. Colin from New York City. Charlie from Galway City Island. There's my million. Martin's watching on the couch in Bootle. Carl from Cumbria. Nottingham, Chris
When we
Ross.
signed Ross at 11:05.
When we signed
How
him.
did someone get that
Ross at
screenshot?
11:05.
How has someone got that screenshot?
Edsy's watching from Pyongyang, North Korea. Andres Nielsen from Duluth.
North Korea.
Belfast, Tony. Booker's from Portsmouth and Belfast. Subalark, Sweden. And Jimmy's from Walton. Glyn and Nicky from Torquay. The Clay Shack,
Walton, you know.
Sonny Runcorn. Haran Bay and Sonny Cincinnati. Andy McGregor's watching from Yama's house. Shankle Road, Belfast, Bobby Joe. Notty Ash. Zlatan from Malmo. Jack from Ronald Watkins from Portugal. Norman, okay. Dave from Ottawa. And Paul, but watching from... Yeah, it went off too fast. And people watching from there. Lee Butler's listening from his mansion.
Never mind yet.
Never mind yet. It's going too fast.
Italian media linking us with V and Etta.
Quality.
He is not bad.
Lewis Warrington
Patriot spaghetti.
going to Fleetwood. That looks of it.
Yeah, nice.
Impressed him last week, didn't he?
To play with Rondon's
Big
mate.
Scott Brown.
Scotty with the hair.
Yeah.
Didn't look like
See
normal.
with the hair, you know, he looks younger, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he looks...
He looks well younger now. He just have hair. Yeah.
He'll learn him how to tackle, maybe.
Would have got him here to United with the
would,
Barney.
with the Barnett,
With
he
the
wouldn't
Barnett,
have stayed
he
at
got
Celtic
him
with a
here to
skinhead, would he?
No.
People would have been going, that's Scott Brown.
Scott
Scott's
Brown
higher
looks-
round.
looks a player.
Let's get him in. With the comb back hair.
Looks
if
a
he'd got a
player.
top knot lead at the bottom.
Yeah, of course he would.
Of
course, what they could use him to fix the ground.
2 hours, 15 minutes to
And
go.
we haven't got anyone.
Josh is watching from Ontario, still at work. Gary Ward still in
Ronaldo.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Whoa.
Fucking hell.
You messing?
Sorry.
What's going on there?
Can't, just jizzing. Quick, get me something to dry me, Mac, quick.
Bloody hell, Cam.
You're
He's an idiot, isn't he?
a clip.
It's a useful.
Are you messing? Who's the defeatist in your voice? Are you messing? Sorry, mate. I'd say I'd buy a new one, but in overdraft, no chance.
Absolute clip, Rob.
It's had worse on it, lad. Come on.
You're worse.
It's had worse on it than that.
You're worse than
Mate, it's had worse
Dr.
liquids than a
Who's
bit of coke.
statues, mate.
Oh, nothing wrong with them.
Those statues were
No, them
ruthless,
statues,
weren't
I'd jump on them statues.
they? I think she
He ain't
had.
gonna sign it,
She
you know,
jumped
let's be
all...
honest.
No,
No.
I told you before.
Not even signing James Garner.
James
Fell
Garner.
through.
The knob
Yeah,
before
fell
that
through.
it was done.
Fell through.
Garner.
All done.
Fell through.
No, it's at 9 o'clock and he got it. They're holding on like we said.
They'll wait till 11.
To
Far
go
to
and
11.
what's the point in blowing our load now? We'll just keep them stringing along till 11, then go. We tried right up to the last minute. They will, won't they?
Half time here. Half time
Not a
chat.
match yet, man. You win them.
Tillemans will not be out of the
Nope.
second half.
There you go. There's speed. Everyone on the pitch behind the cameraman.
There he is. Big Jan's in the Highlands. Lewis is watching from Penketh. Big Brian is in Sweden. He's never said that, but he is. Clive is watching from Wicklow in Ireland. Paul Golf from Hale Wood. Big Kev. Oh, he's talking about Fraser Fletcher. 15 minutes ago said Chuck Weezy still possible to Everton.
Talks nonsense.
If
doesn't
you
he?
say-
Fraser.
Currently at work watching from Burnley, says James.
Yeah.
Stephen Potts watching in Wickham. Paul Callow watching from the Costa del Isle of Man. Astro, you know I'm watching at work in Macon, Georgia. Woo! John Byrne watching from Newark on Trent. Cal is watching from the townhouse. Fair play to you,
Fair
mate.
play
Nice
to
and
you.
clean there. Gary Ward in Memphis, Tennessee. I've said that. Brian Garces from Västerås in Sweden. Georgie Redman says Barkley going to Nice. Fair play,
He's
mate.
not.
Fell through, hasn't he?
Fell through.
Fell
He's
through.
gone for Glenn Kamara instead.
Okay. Astro says, Cam, what was your favourite scran when we were stateside? You
Oh,
Panda
I
Express.
feel like this is going to have to be a question that we all answer, if I'm being honest.
I can't. So.
Obviously, Steve can't because he didn't bother turning up to the airport. But you know what mine was? Mine was the Mexican in that that
nice,
event.
wasn't it?
Mine was the Mexican in that event. The quesadillas and the nachos were absolutely.
That
I
was
mean,
nice.
if they turned up now, I'd die for them.
That was
I
nice.
really would. They were unbelievable. The Panda Express was heavy, but I've had it before and it's very thingy.
it's what
But no,
it is.
the Mexican
Did the
was
job, the Panda Express. didn't
ruthless. What was yours?
it? You know what it was?
Go on.
The meal on the first night.
Oh, yeah,
In
the
the
burger.
Yeah.
The burger.
Naughty.
Naughty.
On the
Ped.
On the first night.
The best meal in America, that burger was heavy.
Literally fuming that you've made that sticky.
The breakfast the day we walk around Washington. Yeah, so
Right.
yeah. Have I made it sticky? Sorry. I'll make that sticky if you want.
Brendan rather says, Brian Watson in Northampton, brilliant disguise. Liam says, we can sign Leroy Lita or Alfonso Alves.
Leroy Lita, man.
Tunkai. Oh, get Sunshine in. Nice one, Liam.
What about Demba?
Everton Vikings says, get your Kubu back on a free. Looks in better.
25.
Wolves have signed a lad from Mets called Boubacar Traore.
Nice.
11 million. But they could get rid of one Traore.
And get another.
Connor says, how would you rate the window without another forward being signed? Done that before, Connor, didn't we?
Already Eddie Connor, lad.
Yeah.
Look at me. Prompting.
Rewind.
Refresh.
Rewind the stream and watch it.
Rewind the 10p quality on the telly again. Nice. Good on that there.
Paul Aldridge is a big blue watching in sunny Stockport.
Right.
Tom's watching from Alcatraz. Are you though? I'm not
might
sure
be. You possible. You can go on tour. I've been on a tour to Alcatraz.
Jonathan's watching from Lincoln Prison.
Fair play, sir.
That does go along the same lines as Alcatraz.
You can't really.
Any other prisoners listening in?
Mickey Glidden on the super
can play
chat.
up front.
Nice one, Mickey.
Can any prisoners play up front?
James Jenkins on the super chat. Thanks, James. Says, would you have Silver back if Lampard goes?
No.
Why are we starting that again?
Why?
Why are we starting? Don't start all that.
Baswood.
I mean, I love Marco Brands, but let's not go back. Josh Creedy's watching from Frodsham. Carl McDermott says, get the likes up. All right, Carl. I mean, I agree. But
Billy Letanoff, lad.
Oh, get him in.
Billy Letanoff,
left
man.
Foot, man.
Segundo Castillo, what's he up to?
Creel makes Billy Letanoff look like Usain Bolt that fast.
Yep.
Paul watching from Kirby, first time watcher. Okay. James Morgan's watching from Loughton.
We're here every day, lad.
Exactly. Lee says Chuck Wheezy deal still a possibility.
It's not happening.
I don't think so.
No.
It's not happening.
Listen, you never know.
I'll get his name tattooed on me if he signs for Everton before the end of tonight.
Where would you get it?
On my leg.
Okay.
Or somewhere.
Never mind, Chet. Simon says watching from Portland, Oregon. That's right.
Oregon.
Oregon. Everybody hit the like button, says Midwest Ghent. Thank you very much.
Crazy shout.
It is.
Absolutely crazy shout.
Can't say that.
Can't say it, but it's crazy.
Can't say it, but it's crazy.
Scott's
watching from Stalybridge in Manchester.
I'll tell you when we go offline, Steve.
Strachwell Ayrshire up front, surely.
Big Dennis, man.
He was alright, Big Dennis.
Got the assist for Tim Howard's goal just by celebrating before it went in. Big Dennis, man. Don't you remember? He ran away like that? Dalton, man. We got battered. Gary Cahill scored twice, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got battered.
Everton could throw it away
Gary
on the
Cahill
night when a goalkeeper scores a goal.
And it was
Arsenal are not ruling out a third bid for Douglas Luiz.
There's just been a picture of someone going back to his house. This is what I love about transfer day.
Douglas Luiz?
There's a black big Mercedes outside on the van types. Obviously, Arsenal must have thrown it up there.
Yeah,
Just waiting for it.
just in case.
It's because he scores corners. I mean, on that topic, by the way, never talk to me about Aaron Ramsdale being anywhere near the same level as Jordan Pickford, by the way. That is a woeful goal to concede yesterday.
All of his goals the other week.
It's mad that he scored 2 corners already.
James Garner.
That's it.
Original James Garner.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
I like
quite
it.
good if they done that as a video though.
Yeah.
Everton don't do anything like
They
that.
just do them in dead soft light.
Yeah.
Weird angles.
Yeah, with silly songs behind
No
them.
imagination to
The
it.
Garner one was simple, easy, one picture, recreated, everyone goes mad. No, what we'll do...
They need to do the paperwork. Paperwork was in on time.
Which?
Need to do.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What a shout, Roman Pavlyuchenko, remember it?
Oh,
Spurs.
Nice.
Lucas Hart and Grassendale. Been
So
a
you
while,
reckon we're
lads,
done,
and
mate?
no page as well. What, mate?
So you reckon we're done?
It's right, Luke. I think we're done after Ghana, yeah. But there's still 2 hours to go.
Still a while, Steve.
I wouldn't accept, if it was me,
Be
I
stressing,
wouldn't. If I was Lampard, I'd
Not
be like,
stressing.
no.
Steve stressing, looking at me stressing.
I'm just...
Stressing.
Michael says, can't wait for us to sign Juan Pablo Angel.
See, there's
Shout.
one.
He's a shout.
What about Angel Rangel?
He's a right back, don't he? We don't need another right
Angel
back.
Why would you have a player that was just his name?
He's twice.
His name was just real.
Angel Rangel.
Wasn't it? Angel
We had a
Rangel.
teacher in school called Miss Rangel and they used to blag.
Trey's watching in Richmond.
Yes.
Vermont, enjoying
Here's
hanging
the
with the
main man.
unofficial
There he is.
Here he is,
EFC
the main man.
recruiting team. Here he is.
The main man, the man with
John
the plan.
Blaineth is in the house.
John Blaineth, Everton's new striker.
Bounced in.
It's come in.
No.
Oh, you've missed a lot, John.
Jamie
Signing
Cleland.
a kid from America called Darren Watkins. Top talent, mate. Quality. Aubameyang. Doesn't he look mad with his hair like that short?
Who, Aubameyang?
Yeah.
He had it like that early on, I think, and then he
I think
obviously went to the spiky hair at Dortmund.
Spiky, yeah.
And all of that. Brett Angel. He can't sign Brett Angel. He signed a long-term 0-hour contract with Southport Tesco's. He works there apparently. I'm not having that.
Doesn't he know?
Yeah,
Franny Jeffers goes to our gym.
Does he? Yeah.
If he wants a game. See him often.
Samuel says Miyazaki or Roca Santa Cruz. Get them. They do.
Santa Cruz is alright until he moved to City.
Remember Morton Gamps Pedersen?
City,
Good
yeah.
left foot.
Left foot.
Blonde hair.
Hair perfect.
Hair was perfect all the time.
All the time.
Used to dive loads as well.
Darren Huckabee on a Bosman.
Bernardo Silva's agent, George Mendes, has apparently landed in Barcelona.
Let me see that picture.
Trying to get that deal done.
He looks like Robert De Niro.
City would be way short if they got rid of him. Oh, they wouldn't be way short.
By way short, you mean they'd only have 83 players in that position instead of 84.
It would be weird though if they let him go.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's quality.
Forrest in for Batshuayi.
Signed, hasn't he?
No, it's not done yet.
Oh, isn't it done now?
Get in Ravanelli. Get Ravi. People want Jason Kumas.
No.
Yeah. He's right. Fair play to them.
We were linked to him every year when Moyes was manager.
Geoff Kaufman says Fab Romano. Here we go. Josie Altidore to Everton on a 3-year deal.
Fab Romano, here we go, man. Isn't it mad the way, like, that's become such a thing? Fab Romano. Massive, innit, Fab Romano? Just does the same job as everybody else, but he's gigantic.
The people he has on that Twitch and how much he charges.
Oh, yeah. Every Twitch subscriber is
£5 to watch it. He literally just recycles a lot of news, talks, other people put down, he just talks about it.
Very difficult to source.
He makes some.
Oh, mate, he's made it.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of money. Fair play. Oh well.
Who's that? What
can you do? 2 hours to go, not nothing.
So Blackburn, like local press, are saying he's going nowhere.
Yeah, he's not, is he?
He says they're way off with their valuation.
Basically, Everton of last week thought, will I go for Diaz and Pedro? And then thought, just go and watch a film or something. And then this morning gone, I probably should
a lot of people
go in for them
James
too.
Garner, 9 p.m.
Everton Azul says, Onana, Garner. Garner in Spanish means to win.
Does it, yeah?
There you go. Good.
Does it?
That's good. Let's hope we start winning then.
Onana, Garner.
Onana, and
Ewobi and Cody and Onana.
There you go.
He's got to sing the real one all the time, man. He always got to sing the real one. We weren't singing the real one.
Ruins everything.
Lila says Terry Curran when he was on loan was amazing. He wasn't, and we bought him when he wasn't as good. But yeah.
So 9 o'clock, we're at the 9 o'clock stage, Baz. Is it the 10 to 2 stage? No.
What?
Yeah, listen.
Is it the 10 to...
Diaz.
What's the 10 to 2 stage?
It's not happening, is it? Just grab.
Where you take anything.
Just grab anything.
Overnight? 10 to 2 for more?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's half free. That's half free.
It's changed
no,
now.
we're just saying in regards to Everton's transfer window.
Oh, yeah. We're at the half three.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, we're at the half three.
Sean Spencer says, Nana.
The half three is like looking for someone else's kitchen. That's where we are. And you go anywhere. You go anywhere.
Dance 1211 on the super chat. Thank you very much. Anyone notice we don't have an actual animal mascot? We should get a dolphin girl with a blue.
Can they play up front?
Well, we had Mr. Testicles, didn't we?
Mr. Testicle. And we
had one the other week.
Dixie,
we had one the other week when Thingy scored. What was that?
We should get him. What was his name? Paul.
No, but I mean when Paul come on, they had a mascot. I thought they were bringing the mascot on. What was the mascot?
God knows. But we should get him. He come on and
he
slot
come on, yeah, he did.
One shot, one goal.
I'd take him, yeah.
100%. Get him in.
He'll score more than Al-Ghazi did. Or Josh King.
Played more than Josh King as well.
To be fair,
Tommy H says, give me Magai Gay or Royston Trent.
Royston Trent would be sound.
I'd have Trent, I know.
I'd have Trent.
He'd be great in time, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd be boss. He'd boss on a night out.
Tom says Sebastian Giovinco. He was class at Toronto.
Told you, Gignac, watch out for that one, everyone.
39-year-old Gignac. Yeah.
He's the one to watch in this window.
I'm into that.
Batshuayi talks to Forest. problem with him is, like you said before, he can only play through the middle.
Yeah, and he's not very good at football.
I think he's crap.
I think he's awful, me personally.
Yeah, I do.
I do think he's dross.
Glad
Couldn't
he's
do it
staying
at
away from
Palace.
How
How many players have Forest actually signed?
How many can they register?
That's 20 now, isn't it?
That's 20
John,
signed
what's-
this summer.
How,
They deserve to get relegated.
Yeah, they deserve to be straight back down.
what's the script of registration?
That and the
on
fact
your
that
name?
Steve Cooper looks like he's
Is-
always escaped an headlock.
Are they allowed to register all these players?
Luka Jovic.
Because they would have had more than...
Jovic, man.
Imagine Carlo give us anyone.
Yeah. Who were not 21,
Imagine
not
it.
under 21.
Yeah, but why hasn't he?
Vinny Jr. on
And
loan.
they're not really selling
Well,
players,
yeah, but
are
people
they?
like
have him.
Jovic, who like isn't pre-operative.
Who else have they got?
Seem
They
very
have
straight.
someone who's not. They don't think's great, but waltzes into our team. They must
Gotta
have.
have someone in the academy. Imagine Carlo just went, have Vinny Jr.
He's
lads, we
messing
don't
around.
need him for this 6
He's on a
months.
sub heading in a sec. Gets you on in as well.
I'm on nothing,
John
Phil.
can replace me, I need
We'll
to-
have a little shit off for you.
I've just had mozzarella sticks.
Make sure that you hit that like button. Let's get it over 5.
I'm always
Thank you
can
very
say
much.
to us it's signed,
And
yeah.
Stay-
make sure
I'm
that
always
you
the
sub
constant,
as
mate.
well.
You can say
I'm
it's-
always the
Close
constant.
to a
mate.
a
I can't
63.7
stay for
sub, so
2 hours,
thank you.
I'll flag.
Don't care, you know.
You're back in, Steve.
That's not
Steve,
the
I make the
point.
rules.
No, we double subs.
No,
I mean, we'll go on.
jumping
We'll
in
get a
the
sub. Come on, Pedro. John, come on, mate. You're in. Pedro, you need to take over, don't you?
Yeah, I need to go on the man seat.
Yeah, but John will go there and you go there.
Yeah, I'll go past. Cam's only thin. I'll go past Australia, man.
Oh,
We'd see the Ped's destroying the set. John, I want to go.
I couldn't be happier, John.
All of these children don't want to go.
We'll go then.
John, I'm
Pep being
going as
behind
well.
me.
Oh yeah,
Sort it
We're all
out.
going
I'm
then.
going.
sorted
We're
then.
going then.
Right, John.
We're
You
all
heard it
going.
here.
Pay for it.
As I'm going, so you've got to go.
I'm not going.
You are going. You are going.
Can't afford it. Ned wants more money. You can't afford anything.
What's going on with my chair here, man?
You've heard it here.
I've always been going.
Why have these lights gone off, Pedro?
You were whinging about the price or the cost rather.
Said I wasn't paying. You should alright start saying it, man.
Wouldn't be anything like that.
No.
1600 the flight to start.
Nah.
Anyway,
We're walking.
Not unless the prices have gone up.
Has James Garner signed you? No.
9 o'clock.
No, it's not. It's 1 past.
Saving
Has
it.
he, yeah? It's right.
What's that?
Failed the medical. It's right. Happy days.
So you've just been watching the United game, have you?
Yeah,
Basically,
John,
yeah.
basically, yeah. Just
Basically.
talking nonsense, haven't we?
I'm just trying
As we always do.
The internet won't work.
Eric Ten Hag's got a t-shirt on with a blazer. That is very controversial.
Yeah, it's very
Very controversial.
Very continental.
No, that's a bit controversial.
Well, it's, you know,
Hello.
Listen to Ned there, doing
bossy boots.
doing some
his
rules,
job.
doing work.
Doing his job.
It's this funny machine thing. There you go.
Is that better now?
Hey, whoa, hey,
funny, is it?
Cody. I know.
How do they manage on real telly? They don't have these big microphones.
No, they have a big thing with a fluffy thing on the end, a big pole like that with a
Yeah,
fluffy
yeah.
thing on the end.
Lapel mics on.
Yeah, lapel mics.
Let's
Radio
have a look.
mics.
Shit, Dave Chappelle.
I don't know where we are. Michael Cosgrove said what I would give for Stephen Naismith. What would you give for Stephen Naismith? Would you give, one of your kidneys?
I would.
I'd like to know.
I've only got one working one.
JB says pair cold drops on Scotty Road. Phil Williams is watching from Howardan, which is obviously in Wales.
According to Everton, addressing age number is 17.
But it's not, is it? It's not.
Well, it's not, is
It's
it?
not, is it? Unless we're selling them.
Is that the Everton website?
yeah.
Yeah.
Everton Viking says Forest will get relegated. It's my uncle's team and I've always followed them closely. Their business this summer has been absolutely ridiculous. They're only as crazy like if they get relegated they're in deep trouble. They'll probably just send all the players on loan to Olympiacos or something like that. And that's how he'll do it. Offset the money. So what are your thoughts on the day, John? One signing so far, one coming in. Is that enough, or are you disappointed that we haven't been able to bring
Well,
this
like
in?
everyone else, I'm going to be disappointed if we don't provide some goals.
Mm.
Maybe the conversation then moves to how do we play without a man leading the line, if you will. Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, DCL's back soon, isn't he? But you can't rely on one player.
Mopay as well.
Yeah, it's a different kind of play, but at least he can play with his back to goal. So yeah. Has Rondon gone?
No, I don't think Rondon will be going anywhere if we don't get another striker.
That's what I mean. So
But the Turkish window's open for another week.
is it?
So and that's
So you can have outgoings.
yeah, he could still go to Turkey, but
I don't know if I'd let him go if we've only got DCL and Maupai. I really wouldn't. So,
I would.
Okay.
Because he doesn't do anything, does he?
Here's a question for you that we've been getting asked a lot. How are we managing to afford the signings?
Well, we'd have to run the numbers, won't we? But how much have we spent so far?
I mean, that is a good question.
Well, who have we bought?
Well,
Just
Garner,
not
let's
Rush.
say Garner add up
two.
to 10 million, let's say. Because that's the rumoured outlay for them too.
So, Garner.
Garner and Garner.
Oh, right.
2 million,
Right,
8
right,
million,
right. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
10 million.
Yeah.
Maupai was probably 15, so that's 25.
Yeah.
Connor Cody's a loan, Tarkovsky's free. Dwight McNeil is 20 million, so that bumps it up to 45 million.
Okay.
Is it? Something like that.
45's a nice number.
Onana 30 odd, which makes it about 80 million?
Call it 80.
Call it 80?
But the sums you've got to do is how long are the contracts? You know, Garner's 2 years, all the others are 3, but Onana's 5, isn't it? I mean, how long was Dwight McNeil? Was that a 3 or longer?
5 only.
Was that 5? So you'd have to do those sums and then divide them down, yeah? But I would imagine that the outgoing players we've lost are funding the salaries, and Richie's funding the rest. But that's only for this financial year.
Yeah.
You know, because as we've talked about on the channel loads of times, you sell a player for 50 million quid. In theory, you can get 5 £50 million players, can't you? But you're only balanced for 1 year, yeah. And that's the sort of things people like Forrest are going to have, I suppose.
Yeah.
That the things accumulate, and we know from Koeman's days onwards with Walsh and what have you that the legacy can have a long tail, can't it? Yeah. But I think, someone asked today, Baz, didn't they? Let's have a chat about this when the window's closed. But we'll do the real numbers and have a look. But I would imagine that we're just playing really cute about length of contracts, what the actual transfer fee is, not what the media say it is, but what it really is. Because McNeil might not be anything like that. And they've done lots of deals with its X plus add-ons, and then it's the total that gets quoted.
Yeah.
You know? But we do know that we were on the line in and around FFP, call it that. And if the outgoings have to balance the incomings.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, you're right, because Sky were reporting today that Guy was 8 million, and then Dominic King came out and said it was 2. So, that is a big difference, and I think it's a lot more, when fans hear that kind of thing. But
the TCO of Garner might be the 8 million over 2 years.
All in,
it's 2 million for the fee, and it's 6 million in his wages. Well, that would have him on, 50, 60 grand a week or something. Maybe he's done that because he's come home, apparently. So
he has come home. He's here.
Well, there's other reports saying he's actually going to be one of the highest paid players at the club now.
Yeah, but these reports are just
I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying.
So much guessing goes on. You get educated guessing, which tries to extract the numbers out of the accounts and stuff like that. And then you try and
77 quid.
Educated guesses on what happens in season, and then you balance one against the other. But as we've known over a number of years, that can conclude with, reasonably intelligent, competent analysts, if you like, concluding you can't possibly buy any players until you've sold some. Then we buy some players without selling some, and the reason they're wrong is because they don't know what they don't know, do they? And what none of us know is what the transfer fees really are, and what the wages really are.
Sorry.
And that works both ways.
Yeah.
We could say, well, we'll unload Gomez to Lille and save 100 grand a week in wages, and then we find out, well, actually he's only on 70 really.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And we might be paying half the wages
and
anyway.
we might be paying half the wages anyway, or we may be paying none of the wages, and so on.
Roberto, thank you for the super chat. He says, great content. How likely is it that Garner will break into the first team this season? James Garner.
James Garner.
I think he's a you work with him over the season, don't you? He's not going to come straight into the team. There's no way. You work with him. He'll grow into the side, I imagine, and will be used when he needs to be used, and come off the bench and all that kind of thing.
But there's a lot of plaudits coming out for him today, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got journalists who obviously repeat what experts tell them.
Yeah.
That the alleged cost to us of him is good business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another one with potential, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man United fans aren't happy to see him leave on a payment.
Man United have put a sell-on clause in it as well, which generally means that they think he's a good player, but they want somebody else to do all the hard yards and then
skim off 20%.
Exactly,
off the top,
yeah. So that's normally the way that goes. So no, he sounds like he's a good player. He looks like a good player, but I think he needs somewhere where he's encouraged to play and will get opportunities, and that's just not going to happen at Man United.
Right.
Just with the midfielders they bought.
When you get the rumour mill kicking in, 1 minute it was going to be a buyback opportunity, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a sell-on. Cynic in me says, well, the second one's a lazier way of doing it, because with a buyback you have to agree a buyback price.
Yeah.
With a sell-on you just say, well, whatever you get for him, we want 20%, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't see many buyback clauses now, do you? In
no,
football?
not really. And the ones that we've been involved in, we've got the better end of it, haven't we? So,
Yeah.
So.
Dance1211 says, who's been to Sands Cafe? I'm going for my birthday. Where's Sands Cafe?
Paige knows.
Paige knows it and likes it.
Where is he?
Oh, is it that one on the Dock Road? Yeah, it's on the Dock Road. The drive past it to go to where?
I know, yeah.
By all the car places and that.
Well, I never thought I'd hear that. It sells burgers and
Chinese and stuff, yeah. It's on the Dock Road.
Apparently Paige says it's good.
Paige knows it.
Paige knows
She's a frequent customer, she said.
Well, there you go. I wouldn't say that.
Says a lot.
Yeah.
Once or twice, it's frequent for Paige.
And what did you have from it?
I had a burger when I
She had a burger.
She had the burger.
Yeah. She bottled it.
You didn't have no Chinese, no Paige?
She bottled it. She bottled it. I don't believe anyone was talking to you.
Ned's had Chinese and a pizza, he said, but not from Sands. So, no relevance to this conversation. But
there you go.
You'll have had Chinese and burgers in the past.
Ned's
so have I.
Ned
once Indian as well.
Ned once had some. Ned once had some food.
It's a controversial rig out that.
I like it.
Controversial
It's
rig out.
it's casual.
Yeah, but it's
continental.
It is, yeah.
No, it's casual continental.
It is. It's just, I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest with you, John.
John will know. John's a man of
style.
Man of style. Well, no, he mix.
No, it's like a cardigan, but it's like the t-shirt he's got a bit low V. I don't really know how to describe it, John, to be honest. I mean, it's a little bit.
Are you trying to tell people to watch BC Sports?
John mixes with a certain clientele, so he'll know. He'll know.
Me.
Yeah.
I am the clientele. People aren't happy with your tweet, you know, Paige. Yeah.
What tweet's that?
Shock horror that Evertonians can't have a joke.
Yeah.
Look at that. Imagine my surprise. Not happy with that. Yeah. Not funny, apparently. Thought it was hilarious, me.
It is funny.
It is funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Put out a fake transfer rumour.
That Everton are interested in Darren Watkins. About
Hakan,
and it's not April.
It's speed.
Hakan says, Fab on Twitch now. Depay to Chelsea is close. Will this free Brozier?
Maybe.
Well, if it does, it's going to have to be
He's
quick.
going to have to get on a fast train.
He's going to have to
quickly.
get on the blower.
Not if the deals are already
done.
No,
I know.
It's just domino, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Carl says, so Gordon has a contract till September 2025, apparently $5,000 a week. Given he wanted to leave, I mean, again,
where's this $5,000 a week come from?
But
10k a week.
10k a week and wanted to leave. They're both very subjective.
Yeah.
They're both. Shall we just keep him on that until we eventually fog him?
No.
Or do you think the club will give him extra cash, given though he wouldn't sign the contract given to him in the summer? Well, they'll keep trying to persuade him to sign a new contract.
Yeah, of course they will.
Of course.
You're devaluing your product, aren't you? Because
you're not devaluing it. But if we've offered a guy a new contract and his agent has said no, thank you, presumably because he thought he could leave or move or whatever.
Has he been offered a contract or are they negotiating a contract?
No, apparently he's got it.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah.
He was saying that earlier on because he was talking it up. The venues
Blackburn
don't have to sell.
Blackburn want 20 million. We may be looking at more like 12.
Yeah.
He's on a free at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't go near that.
He doesn't want to sign a new contract either, does he?
No.
Steve, that might just be he's in the know that Chelsea are getting sorted and we're not interested no more. Yeah.
Maybe.
See, we all second guess everything with no No fact
But the
at
simple
all.
fact is, Everton will want Anthony Gordon to sign a contract because
Why?
because why wouldn't you? His value is going down. Will go down next summer, won't it?
Yeah, but the contract, is it just one-sided or is it another 5 years?
But it doesn't.
Well, it'll be another.
It's never
5
that
years,
case, though,
won't
is it? Doesn't mean it's going to stay.
Otherwise, what I think, and I think this is fair, is you have to, for me, reflect.
Yeah, John.
Where a player's. It's
He's
the
got a
polo.
No, it's not.
It
It's
is
a
a
cardigan.
polo.
It's a cardigan and the buttons are low. It's just. Listen, I'm not criticising it. It's nice,
For
but
me,
it's just
you
different.
have to reflect a player's his player's contract has to reflect his status at the football club.
No.
Oh, I don't. I think so, John.
Form is temporary.
No, I think so. If you get a player and you put him out there as your stop messing with the microphone. You know that's not how they work, don't you? You don't work like that.
Ped, I am a guy that works on
So hang on,
touch.
so let me talk about it,
Go on.
right? And you do
Go on.
it your way around.
You mess with your microphone.
So I don't know exactly when it's. Has he got 3 years left or something? Has he?
I think so. Yeah,
don't
2025.
Ned, can you check when? He's got 3 years left. So 2 years ago he signed a 5-year contract. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
A contract he was happy to sign.
Yeah.
He could have been an absolute turkey and he'd be sitting on a 5-year contract. And what you're saying is, just because he's fulfilling that potential, even though he's got 3 years left, let's give him more money.
I don't think it's about money as such, though, John. I think.
Well, it is.
I think a contract. The club are getting a lot out of Anthony Gordon in terms of he's now the number one. He'll be the number one poster boy going forward and all those kind of things.
As promoted by Everton, yeah.
And I think that needs to be reflected. And
how do you reflect it?
In what your contract is, because otherwise.
Well, the only two things you can reflect it in are money and term.
Yeah.
So why would you give someone more money when you can keep them on the same money for 3 years?
Because that's not how football works, though, is it? You've got to.
It does.
You know, it's
how business works.
It's that's not football.
Well, it does.
And you've been sitting here about 4 years with us saying that nearly every week.
Yeah.
Business and football are completely different
No.
things.
Whoa. How football people choose to make business decisions is daft on occasions. And I personally, I think it's daft.
Yeah.
This man signed a 5-year contract 2 years ago, which he was happy to sign.
Yeah.
He had professional.
Okay.
I'm going to say.
Go on.
He had professional advice.
Yeah.
It's presumably got mechanisms in it to reward him for progress.
Yeah.
So he's probably getting pay rises when he's played so many games, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Works for me.
And now because he's the next big.
okay.
I'm going to say
Go
he's
on.
currently the next big
But
thing.
he didn't, though, because.
Hang on a sec. He's the next big thing for no reason other than we need to respect
But
the
John,
fact he's higher profile.
But he signed it when he wasn't a first team player.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does in football, though, doesn't it?
No,
and
not
also
at all.
next year.
No,
it does, John. I'm not having that. I know you're a businessman, but
Well,
I'm not having that.
listen,
he
rewind.
signed that.
I feel like
signed
15.
that. No, he signed that when he was a player who wasn't in Everton's first team.
With a professional advisor.
I agree with you on that point.
Right.
But in terms of the way football works, next year he's got 2 years left, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. So you have so next summer, if he doesn't sign a contract, Everton have got to sell him. In my opinion.
Maybe.
So therefore, isn't it better to get ahead of that this year?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. But when you said he wasn't in the first team, then why did he sign a 5-year contract?
So because
He could have signed 3.
Because a 5-year deal gives him security.
Absolutely. So you trade security for money. Here's a 3-year contract, we'll pay you 20 grand a week. Here's a 5-year contract, we'll pay you 15 grand a week. Oh, I'll have that one, please. So that means him and his advisors weren't sure whether within 24, 36 months he's going to be the next big thing. So I'm not saying you shouldn't follow your normal process for when they're 2 years out, you try and get him to sign a new contract or whatever. What we don't know, although we believe that he has a contract in his hand waiting to be signed.
Yeah.
If it's typically what I would have expected here is they've had all the conversations, all the negotiations, me and you shake hands and he's the lawyer and we say to him, write it down. Then when it's written down, we give it to you to sign and then we give it to me to sign. Say I'm the club, you're the player, whatever. At that point, they've said, no, we're not signing it. Now that's presumably because the agents had the whisper, Chelsea are interested. Don't sign this. Or, which I think is more likely, Anthony's going to be in demand, and that fact that there is demand gives Anthony more bargaining power than he had before. And you're actually exposing the bargain power by saying you would give him
I would,
a bigger pay packet.
The simple fact is, football, for me, if you're a footballer, I think what your standing is as a football club should be reflected in how much you earn. So therefore...
Ego, you mean?
No. Anthony Gordon is literally the most important player at Everton Football Club now.
At the moment,
yeah. So therefore, apart from Jordan Pickford, and I'm not saying he should be the second highest paid, by the way, but I think he should go up the pay scale.
Well, we don't know what he's paid.
No, but if he signed a contract 2 years ago, it's not going to be huge. We can imagine it's not going to be a huge contract.
But no, it'll have accelerators in it. Contracts are written all the time with accelerators.
So how often? All right, then we'll put it this way: how often with you? If someone signs a 5-year contract, how many years should you be looking to negotiate? Just the way with the mechanics of football.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Well, you can't really let a player go down to this last year.
No.
So you should be getting within 2 years.
Yeah.
So
you'd have a simple planning horizon that says 2 years out from the end of his contract, we want that player to sign a new contract.
Yeah.
But not 3 years out, which is where we are now. But I would also expect, if the contract's been written in the right way, that there's accelerators that say when you play 20 games, 50 games, 60, whatever, or if you score so many goals in a season and all these sorts of things. I can't imagine that well, we don't know because we're second guessing, but I can't imagine a player who's on a 3-year deal, which fundamentally is where he's at now, isn't he? If he downs tools because I want more money,
but I don't.
Hang on a sec, then... You can.
No,
it's blackmail-y type stuff.
No, I get
but he'd
that.
have done that while the window's open.
No, I get that.
So he must be happy.
But to me, it's not about players down in tools. I think players should earn what they deserve.
Well, what does he deserve?
And I think if you're in the first team and you're now a star player and the club are using you for all the.
But what do you think he's worth then?
I don't know because I don't know what the average player earns. But
you've just been telling me for 5 minutes about the way football works.
No, but I can't put a number on it.
Well, what do you think he's earning? The rumour.
I think he's probably earning about £10,000 to £15,000.
Okay, so
a week.
It's 15k. What would you pay him then?
I'd probably give him closer to 50.
Right. So we don't know whether he's already been offered 50.
No, but that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying I just
having a Lamborghini.
I just think that
they're not that expensive.
John could have two.
Yeah.
This is not just about Anthony Gordon, by the way. This is not about me saying Anthony Gordon deserves. I just think football clubs, when a player gets to a certain status within that football club, their pay package should be.
But status is subjective.
But it's not on this case though. Anthony Gordon is one of Everton's most important players. That's the way it is.
But what happens if he's not in 6 months' time?
But he is now. You can't. Surely you can't.
We're in the middle of a
no. But you can't bank on that. Though, can you?
We're in the middle of a shit fest with our FFP because we threw money at people.
No, this is not throwing money because
5 years ago
somebody came and offered us near enough 50 million for
we don't know what they offered.
So they'll come back for
Of course they will.
So therefore, I personally believe this is just me. If you're good at your job, it should be.
Do you think whoever Chelsea will come back next summer?
Probably, yeah.
How much do you think they'll offer?
Well, they'll offer probably about the same.
Depends how
he'll have a year left on his contract.
Depends how his season goes.
He'll have a year less.
Yeah, so
therefore his value will be less.
No, not necessarily.
Well, it will be though, won't it?
If he scores 20 league goals this season, are you saying they can offer the same or less than they've just offered for him when he scored 2?
But Everton, if he had 4 years left on a contract next summer.
The contract term's just one lever in a negotiation.
I appreciate that.
You're swapping in, Baz.
And the thing
you're swapping in.
I'm now getting Serge Aurier as well, playing number 21.
Jesus. Well, you said 22.
Come and swap in.
Said 21 before.
Go on.
But see what I mean? It's just one lever.
No, I appreciate that.
I think ultimately we wrote this down. We're agreeing because that one lever would cause you to do one thing, then other levers, right? So if you say, well, I'm going to move him from 15k a week to 50, do you want him to sign for 5 years then?
Do I want Anthony Gordon? Yeah.
No. In this example, yeah, you're saying, well, what the player's going to get is 35 grand a week more money. Yeah. What's the club going to get?
Well, they're going to get a player.
We've got him already.
Who's in demand.
We've got him already.
And a player who's... Yeah, but how long do you keep a... You can't... I can't think of any example where a player's in such demand and you go, no, we'll just leave you, lad.
Who wanted to buy him?
Well, Chelsea wanted to buy him.
One club.
Yeah, but one of the biggest clubs in the country.
Well, that's the point. It's someone like City could be interested if he fulfills some of this potential, right? But think of it from a business perspective, right?
Yeah.
You want to give him what, £1 or £2 million a year pay rise, and we sell him next summer for exactly what we could have sold him for now, and we make less money because we've paid him more.
I know, John, but I just.
So I'm asking you the simple question: if you want to give him a pay rise, which is fine,
yeah,
because he's an asset that you think has got value, increasing value, and all that good stuff, what do we get in return? The only thing we, as a club, can get in return is that he's signed up with us for longer.
But I'm not talking from a club's point of view. I'm talking from a player's point of view. Players, I believe, deserve to be rewarded.
You sign a contract, you stick to it.
You bring but that's not how football works, is it? That's not how football works. Players will always improve. It's not though. Players always improve, and after 2 years, they're probably likely to get a new contract.
No, sorry. Those things are in the contract that they signed in the first place.
What are
metrics that say, "Are you improving?"
But they're not always, though.
Well, I'm pretty damn
sure
they are.
They're not always. I just think players should be rewarded for a position the club put them into, and if a club decides that you're one of the most important players in your team and then come to the table, then you deserve to earn that money. And that's on the club.
See, deserve is a really powerful word.
It's
when
not.
you talk, as he just said, you've got a guy who's. I'm sorry, it was Cam, wasn't it?
I'm now.
Yeah, you've got a guy who's in his early 20s, driving around in a Lamborghini, right? Yeah. He's had his hair dyed blonde, and he wants number 10, etc., etc. That's all part of the image and all that good stuff. And of course, his agent will want very much more money and so on. But if the agent says, if I'm the agent, I'd love to negotiate with you, because I say, oh, my boy's doing really, really well. When you launch a new kit, you put him on the front page, all that sort of stuff. He says, well, actually, that's in the contract. All players have to do that.
Yeah,
whatever.
I appreciate all that.
And you say, well, tell you what, we'll give you 35 grand a week more, and you don't have to do anything for it at all. You can still go in 3 years' time, and you don't have to do anything. Next year, I'm the agent. I'm back again. Hang on a sec. Okay. I'm back again saying, 2 years out now. Yeah. I want more money now.
But that's not.
So you've got to have negotiation takes two sides, right? Yeah. So the player and the agent want stuff, and the club wants stuff, and unless they get a balanced agreement, one or other of them won't sign the contract.
But I know I appreciate all that. But for me, if a player signed a contract when he was not in the first team and he's on the basic wages, there's a point where you have to come to the table, and Everton have already come to the table clearly. Yeah. So therefore,
and we've offered him a contract, and he's chosen not to sign it.
And Everton should be pushing that to sign that contract.
But that's not how you negotiate, mate.
No, I'm not talking about negotiation. I'm not talking about what he has in his contract. What I'm talking about is that there's got to be a time you offer someone a contract. And for me, any player who's elevated himself to a position in the club where he's now one of the main players, he's going to be looking around the dressing room saying, what are you on? What are you on? Yeah, and I know that's not a but I'm not looking from the club though. I'm not looking, and I've seen people in the comment going, I'd make Everton.
Well, don't look at the player. Look as a fan and say, do you think simply because Anthony is in demand? He's had
I'm not changing the man. What I'm saying is,
he's had a few sparkling moments.
No.
Let's give him a pay rise.
2 years ago when he signed the contract, we've done it a million times. When Everton decide a player is suddenly worth something, they give him a new contract. That's all I'm saying.
When they offered this guy a new contract.
When they decided Richarlison was worth something to lads, come on,
idiots.
When they decided.
I thought Baz was going to say, do you want a coffee then?
When they decided that those players were worth a contract, they give them a contract, and
we're agreeing on that.
I know. But I'm not talking about the terms. I'm just saying a player in his position now should be getting pushed for that new contract, because 3 years next summer becomes 2 years, and that's a position where you've got.
But he's got a contract offer already.
No, I know. We don't know the ins and outs of that. That's what I'm saying.
So. If you say you're representing, so you're trying to beat the player, I'm growing in influence and all that, therefore give me more, right? So now be the same player. Answer my question: why have you accepted the contract we've already agreed?
Well,
because you think you're going to get something better somewhere else.
Well, maybe that's it, but that's again, like you were saying before, we don't know that for a fact. I just think when a player is put in a position by a football club, his wages should start reflecting that, because the bet.
What do you mean put in a position?
Of going through the team.
Yeah, but it's two sides.
Right? I know it's two sides.
No one is ever forced to sign a contract.
Put it this way.
Are we talking about Anthony Gordon
when
here?
He's on,
well, it's players in general, really. But yeah,
you've got to get into a position where you have a pay scale, haven't you?
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to. Your best players being reflective, what their wages reflect and what their value is.
But the value to who?
Well, to the football club.
Well, we've got players on our roster. It's not the value to the club that dictated what they paid. Rondon, the value, whatever he's getting paid, is because Benitez wanted it, isn't it?
Well,
so it's all very subjective. So you've got to have a process, okay, which is your pay scale. And if that process says we've got a 18, 19-year-old lad and we think he's a great prospect, we're going to offer him a 5-year deal at, make it sums easy, 10 grand a week, right? So he's on £500,000 a year. And as an 18-year-old lad, he snatches your hand off. But his agent, because he's got professional agents, they say, well, hang on a minute. What happens when he starts playing for the first team? What happens when he starts scoring goals? What happens when he gets picked for his country? What happens if we actually win something while he's playing? And they're all the kickers where he's going to get extra stuff, right? But then 2 years down the line, and I'm not undermining Anthony at all, he's flavour of the month.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And you could give him a contract, right? This contract has already been offered, hasn't been signed, has it? So you would expect the first thing the club should do, as soon as the window's closed, you're going to sign this contract. The agent either says, no, just not interested, or yes, if you make the money better, or you do this or that or the other, right? But the club always wants to get something out of it as well.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going to give Anthony Gordon a new contract with more money without lengthening the term of the agreement.
Yeah.
So that's all I was asking. So what do you want? 4 years or 5? And the agent's thinking, hang on a minute, if Anthony, what is he now, 21? Yeah. If Anthony signs a new 5-year contract on your 50 grand a week, what happens next year when he thinks, my God, I should be earning 150 grand a week, 200 grand a week?
He won't get that at Everton, but...
No, he won't.
But at least he'll be what he is in will reflect.
But you're using lots of words like reflect
and
but that's deserve.
Football, John.
It's contracts.
It's not though, is it? Football is flavour of the month.
What have we got out of it?
It doesn't. Football is flavour of the month, isn't it?
And you live with the.
It is exactly where you are in that moment. It's not. It's not like you can't sit back and go, well, we'll see what happens in a couple of more months.
Well, in that sense...
You tried that with Ross Barkley.
Well, hang on a sec. In that sense, you can't criticise Gomez sitting on his contract.
No, I don't.
You can't... No, not you. Fans in general. If you believe that you have to make a decision in the moment that you have to live with for the next 5 years... Well, then that's how you get in the mess.
Gomez is a really good example because
how you get in the mess.
Because he had a good first year. And then we decided we were going to keep him. And then obviously his wages reflected the fact that we paid 20 million for him.
That's different because, again, that's a lever, isn't it, for the agent?
No, but that's
they
what I'm
use
saying.
the transfer fee as a justification.
But that is again, that's flavour of the month, isn't it?
At?
Someone just said Ned's hair equals John's shirt.
That is flavour of the month, isn't it?
Slightly different.
Football will always be...
Is it like that all over?
It's like that in the summer.
Football will always be flavour of the month, won't it?
Yeah.
It'll always be.
But in a cameo, we've just had deserve, reflect, emotional decision making. Rather, well, it is.
Everton always make emotional decisions.
That's how we're in the mess we're in.
No, I know, but you've also.
So you've got to stop doing that, haven't you?
But you've all No, I fully agree with that. I 100% agree with that completely. I just could look for the fact of there's an asset. You've got to protect the assets, haven't you? Surely.
But this one's protected. He's got 3 years left on his contract.
I don't think that's enough anymore. Because next summer he's only got 2, and that's the danger zone for me. 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years is always like, well, for me, you sign a contract or you get sold.
So you do want him to sign a new contract. He gets more money, and in return for that, he signs a longer contract.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's it.
Yeah. I think I've said that about 5 times so far.
We killed 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it was fun, wasn't it, while it lasted?
What do you think about Gordon's contract?
Is that what we were talking about?
You bottled it and got out of there.
Yeah, you ran away.
I think, right.
This isn't about food or tracky bottoms, so I'm off.
I knew they would. There's a car sitting
outside. I think if you're going to try and
That's
get some money out of him next season, and give him a fat contract
fair
now.
wedge for him, yeah.
Exactly.
And give him 10 years.
Stuart Lowe says if we don't get Brozier tonight, it'll be a massive letdown.
It will, yeah. Well, if we don't get somebody, it will. But yeah, if they're bringing in one, maybe two strikers, and they're not letting him go.
I just feel like when you look at last season, without Dominic Calvert-Lewin playing, and then you're looking, Richarlison our top scorer. Have we replaced our top scorer? I don't know if we have. And have we replaced with only having Richarlison last season and then going? Well, we needed more anyway, because having Richarlison our top scorer, we finished 16th. So you need to, even if Richarlison stays, we need to add anyway. Have we replaced Richarlison, and have you replaced the problem even when Richarlison was there?
We won't miss Richie's goals, right, until March, April, because he didn't do anything prior to then.
But I was saying before, Anthony Gordon could be Richarlison's replacement.
I agree. If he keeps getting in the play,
if he keeps doing what he's doing and
Absolutely.
he's working as hard, he could be his replacement. And then
man.
it's a case of
where's the others coming from?
Where the others come from.
DCL has to come back and get
he
back
has
to
to,
15, doesn't he?
Well, I said when Gordon was linked to Newcastle originally, I said Gordon might be that, because at the time we just lost Richarlison, and I said, well, if I was financing, if we go and spend money in midfield and in defence, that Richarlison money, then you can look at Gordon, and if he's getting better and goals start coming to his game, which they have done, 2 out of 5 is a better return, our last season where he got 4 and 30 odd. And what I would say about the 2 goals now, the proper forwards goals rather than last season.
Proper forwards goals.
You want your forwards to shoot, which you did last season, but he had what are you laughing at? He had 3 deflections last season, but now he's scoring proper forwards goals.
Can't win without buying a ticket, can you?
So if he starts cracking the goals in,
but it's only. But the serious point there, it's only a couple of weeks ago since people were saying just that he hasn't even scored proper goals anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no! Listen. Football is flavour of the month, isn't it? And he has last couple of games scored goals, and of course, then everyone is then raving about him, and that's football for you.
In forthcoming games, people are going to be looking after him as well, aren't they? Or looking out for him rather.
The good thing when he scored these 2 goals in the past couple of weeks, because if he were to stay and there was people still going, get him gone so we can get forwards in. With the fact he's scoring and having good games means that people want to keep him.
Style of play comes in, doesn't it?
But on the other side of it, Everton, I imagine, when the window shuts, if we do miss out on a striker, they're going to want to
fan reaction's going to be the
push PR.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the PR would be Anthony Gordon is
do you
the
think
best
that
from sliced bread.
I was going to say, do you think we've
that kind of thing.
Do you think that puts unnecessary pressure on him though?
Not really.
No.
I mean, this kid's been professionally coached for 10 years already.
God, that's hot.
And so they get all the media training.
You say that.
So they might go to the courses, but whether they listen or not is another matter. But they get exposed, right? So I don't think pressure's all in your head, isn't it? So if you don't get it, you don't get it. But people do flake, don't they? Others perform better when pressure's on. Maybe Anthony's last couple of games are all about, I'm supposed to be under all this pressure, and I'll show how good I am.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's going to be a big few weeks for Anthony Gordon in terms of.
Cheers, mate.
There is going to be a lot of
hype.
There's going to be, there's going to be a lot of hype about him. There's going to be.
Is the derby on Sky? Is it?
BT.
Oh, it's BT, is it?
So there's going to be lots.
They'll be all over him like a rash, won't they? At the weekend. Because he's like you say, he's the big star. He's dyed his hair blonde, so everyone knows where he is on the pitch.
Everyone will know as well.
So he's not hiding on the pitch.
Not everyone will know, or will certainly point to the fact of Everton. If Everton could have got the money for him, then what could that have done? But Everton wanted to keep him. Frank Lampard has been very consistent of wanting to keep him at the club. So therefore, it is going to push him front and centre. Then of you could have had X, Y, Z, but you stuck with this lad, and therefore I don't think it's undue pressure, because the last 2 games he's been great, but it is going to be that's going to be really interesting of how Everton sort of use that, because they should use that in their favour. We kept the kid, we kept the local boy, we kept our star boy and all that nonsense, the one we give the number 10. How do we push that? How do we market that?
Well, they need to exploit it. By the same token, his agent needs to exploit it as well. If Anthony had pushed for a move, he would be more likely to get it than was what's happened. and Chelsea undoubtedly would have paid him 10 times more if he's on his 15 grand a week, you say. You look at Ross, he went, 165 or something, right? And 5 years later, pretty much a failure, but he's got all that money in the bank.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and well, that sets him, it sets his family, all sorts of things get fixed. So you can never slag players off saying, well, here's my moment, I'm going to screw the best contract I possibly can out of this football club right now. Because just like managers is the best example, isn't it? You know, you can sign a 5-year contract as a manager and they sack you tomorrow morning, right? For no reason, or for a good reason, or somewhere in between. But at least you've got the safety net of a nice big fat contract, right? So, but it works both ways. Yeah. It always will, and it always will, won't it? A football club will sell a player. Now, the challenge for Everton with Anthony Gordon may very well be: is an agent of Anthony Gordon going to sign a contract now for 5 years that has him, quote, only on 50 grand a week?
Yeah.
I
mean that is.
Everton are not going to pay him 100 grand a week, so that's where your accelerators, your leaders within the contract.
I totally agree, John. I totally agree on that. I mean, if the contract, see, you're right, because if the contract was on the table, the contract will be for his agent. The start of the negotiation, isn't it? All that talk from Chelsea is fantastic from a negotiating point of view. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Well, you've offered us this, but God, these have offered us all this plus, and we stayed. We were loyal. We did not ask to go, and all. It's at the end of the day, we don't know the true details of what's going on, what really got offered, what the original contract was. And it'll all come out in the wash, I imagine. But I can see him signing a new contract the next few weeks. Can you? Oh, I do. I think Everton.
It's good PR.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I think Everton will push for it and go, not only did we buy all these players, but we secured. We didn't sell them, and we secured. And PR-wise, football clubs, not just Everton, they love doing that.
Well, it's like when
the only thing they're going to get out of such PR is he's committed.
When he was
committed longer, so it needs to be 4 years or 5 years left, not 3, and that's going to be known. I mean, they can't just say, "Oh, by the way, Anthony's signing a new contract." What about it then? Oh, we're paying a lot more money.
Right?
How long's his contract? Oh, still 3 years.
Keeping him at the club till 2028 or whatever.
That's not good PR.
No, it'll be if they do it and they get it signed, it'll be a big. Everton would make it a big deal. Of course,
that's why it becomes, from his agent's point of view, you want me to sign, Anthony, but we'll negotiate it, a new deal which lasts for 5 more years.
6? Make it 6.
Or whatever, 5 more years. Therefore, it's got to have everything in it. That means in 2 or 3 years' time, if he's still here, he's earning the amount of money that he, to use your word, he deserves. And that can only be based on performances. Right.
When I say deserves, though, I don't mean in terms of what's happened in the last couple of weeks. I just mean incrementally over the last 2 years.
He's not signed a contract
since no doubt that's in the contract already. Because his agent's not worth anything if 2 years ago they just signed a flat 15 grand a week. There you go. You know? So every time he gets called up for England for the 21s, and then when he gets in the full squad and scores goals and plays in World Cups and
in terms of Everton's PR around Gordon as well, don't forget, it was when it would coincidentally when he was linked with Newcastle, and it got quite busy on social media that he was announced as the new number 10, and Lampard put a quote out, or their club put a quote from Lampard out saying that wasn't coming out of any press conference or anything. They just put it out themselves, saying he's going nowhere. He's our player to stay.
I mean, those things are speculative as well, because Newcastle with a few bob in the pocket go, that Anthony Gordon bloke at Everton, he's only on 15 grand a week. I mean, Madrid have done it for years, haven't they? Snazzled up players at end of Michael Owen, a good example, I suppose. They grab a player at what looks like a really good thing, keep him for a year or two, and then sell him. You know, what are they laughing at now?
Well, there's not
What's happening, boys?
Baz, have you made these lads a drink?
Yeah. You might as well put microphones on them.
Do you understand?
Let's have a look.
Baz, I wanted a drink.
They're just typing Ned. I don't care.
Somebody said...
I'm not... I'll be honest, right? I'm not here. I don't look at the chat. I'm not here to...
Somebody said I vote Ned to getting naked.
Southampton have just signed a dozy from Man City for a fee rising to £10 million. The third player they've bought from City's development squad this summer. Max Aarons is staying at Norwich. Forest have agreed a D for a free agent. Sergio Luis to Arsenal is now looking unlikely. Brian Diaz is staying at Blackburn. Maitland-Niles has gone to Southampton on loan. Remember when we never signed him?
Yeah,
idiot. Wolves have just bought more baby oil for Traore's arms.
Cam's used it all.
Liverpool about to get Arthur. But Everton aren't signing anybody. So we haven't even... When are we announcing James Garner? I reckon 5 to 11, just so that it keeps everybody on their toes. They just want us to stay here.
Well, I hope Everton watch this because they're taking the piss of sitting on it just to do that. So.
Well, they did that with Rondon.
Yeah. Do you not remember January we signed Josh King and we finished at midnight? I was like, that's it. It doesn't look like it's happened, or like that's it. Nothing. And then suddenly you got a message saying we got Josh King, and you were like,
we'd already done a video.
I remember us stopping.
We knew we'd done a video about it.
Yeah, I was here, and then it was like,
yeah, were you here though?
Yeah.
Are you ever here?
We went live. I'm here physically.
Well, there you go. You didn't back home in your bedroom with Dinky and Rex.
Feel that, John.
I
don't know.
It's flab. Look.
Manchester United are still winning 1-0 with whatever minutes left.
I had an awful dream.
Sancho scored.
Dinky got eaten by a snake last night.
He did. Sorry, what was that?
I had a really awful dream last night. Like Dinky got eaten by a
Is this where we are now at this point of the stream?
Reptiles getting eaten.
I woke up really upset in a sweat. In a cold sweat.
It was a dream.
I mean, look at the. Have you seen the comments? It's all just Ned and Baz.
It's an encore.
Literally, that's all it is. Ned and Baz. The whole thing is just.
They must be all from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Oh, dear me.
Where was that video of Ned, by the way?
Whose keys are these?
Brilliant.
Why am I always on Twitter?
Someone just put, when will the Piv arrive in the studio? The Piv wanted the night off. He'd done his work. And he would never come on camera anyway because he just wouldn't.
Piv's the hardest work, second hardest working man I know.
Who's the first?
Me.
Sorry, Andy, that's not a great...
Yeah. He won't be watching. He's not interested. I know he's watching. He keeps on messaging me.
No,
he keeps on messaging me.
Piv really is the busiest person I've ever met.
Go on.
Have we had any traction with our fake rumours?
Somebody quote retweeted pages and put, me and Paige were doing before while we were doing our work. We were going, name a film. We go through the alphabet, you're going to name a film. We got to H and I went, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And Paige went, Harry Potter and the Wizard of Oz. I was like, what?
You do know you're live here, don't you? There you go. It's incredible. So, who would you be prepared to take at 5 to 11 then, John?
Nobody.
Come on, who's the 8-pinter that you're taking home? Who's the one in the taxi
If we've
rank?
exhausted our list, then we go with nobody.
Okay. So you wouldn't be prepared to throw a, if Ross Barkley was there 5 to 11 showing a bit of leg.
No way.
Sat outside the tram. Can I come in? Can I come in, please?
Yeah. He's made his bed. Yeah.
Spot on. Oh, Cam.
Has he made his bed though?
Sorry? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We've signed a big amount of players.
No one can actually hear you, No one can hear you talking.
What would we rate the transfer window out of 10? I'll tell you at 12.
Why would you tell him at 12?
So far, I'd say so far it's been good, but I think some of these deals could have been done earlier, and that might have saved us 8 points.
Chris says, bad feeling that this is it. No forwards coming in. Gray Leeds says, I'm here spiritually. Glenn Watson says, Ned, would you like a striker that hits the ball like a Texas horned lizard?
Wow.
A Texas horned lizard. Sorry. They're too slow, those Texas horned lizards.
Are they the Dwight McNeil of Lizards?
They got a better right foot.
Everton Viking says, be honest, do you think the lack of another forward we're in for another relegation fight?
No, I don't think so. I think our team off the ball and certainly on the ball until we get the final third is good enough. I think we've already turned some games into draws, which you could say last year would have been losses that it took a point. I just think some of those, obviously with a forward, you just turn some of those games into wins. Obviously Leeds, Nottingham Forest, but I think with more pay coming in, hopefully we can get Dominic Calvert-Lewin back, which I'm not going to, bank on him being fit all season. But with, Gordon getting better, Gray starting to score goals, I think we've got a team good enough now to win games. Like I said, when we signed Tarkowski, Richarlison might have won us around 10 points last season with Tarkowski coming in. With some of the games he turned to draws, or like played like Cody and Tarkowski coming in, showing out the defence. The games that they've turned into draws that would have been losses last season might be equivalent of winning 10 points.
Do you think,
we've already
John,
shown that with 2 draws? So,
what do you think about where we're gonna likely finish this season if we've got what we've got right now?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because the way the league hangs together, there's like 5 or 6 place spread, isn't there? So I can't say it's going to be 18, 19 or 20, right? So it's 10th to 17th then.
Yeah, I think. I mean, listen, we don't look terrible, do we? We're not like.
It's all about results.
We're not looking terrible. We just need to get some wins. That's all it is.
We look off the ball and on the ball, certainly to the final third, as organised, and on paper you can say, and on the pitch now as well, you can say there's enough quality in our team for a top 10 team. But what you're missing is the top striker, and we've got one. He's just injured.
Dennis Quaalude in the super chat says metalicious. Ned, can you say metalicious? Can you say that for us?
Meticulous.
No. Say what you said though.
Yeah, it was spelt wrong. It was spelt wrong on the.
Who spelt it wrong?
I said Metalucious because it was spelt wrong on the whiteboard.
But who spelt it?
So,
no, it was Ned.
It was Ned.
I wouldn't write Metalicious because I don't know what it is. I mean meticulous. How can I make up a word and write it down?
But you appear to. So
I'm fascinated why you had meticulous on the whiteboard.
I have no idea.
Maybe
it's one thing you aren't.
Gary Ward says, "Where's the ping pong trick?" I think that's
one for Paige.
That's aimed at you, Paige.
Yeah.
Tom Blue says, "Lads, we've well and truly bottled it, haven't we?"
No, I wouldn't say so.
It could have but one more forward kind of player would have made it a really, really good window.
It's not over, is it? Yeah.
10 to 10.
I'm guessing they took a calculated risk and held out for a player, and unfortunately a player got injured before the season. That was the worst player to possibly get injured.
I think they were always going to try and get a striker. It just becomes more acute because they needed to have done it sooner.
And clubs know that know that we definitely need a striker. So whether clubs aren't willing to let players go for a certain fee.
Diaz isn't going to sign a new contract with Blackburn.
If that is true, that Diaz has got a year left and they want 20 million, then that's crazy.
But the Blackburn owners have got a lot of money. They've got a lot of money. So they don't need to. And if the manager who they're trying to keep and impress because he's a young up and coming manager, John Dahl Thomason, if he says this fella could give us a brilliant chance of getting in the Premier League.
That's what I was going to say. So, they're thinking we might lose 10 million on him because he leaves for free next season. But if he gets up into the Premier League, we're getting all this money anyway. Whether the team's good enough to get in the Premier League, I don't know.
Go back to the other conversation. They have to give him a new contract now. Blackburn.
Well, they have offered him one, but he rejected it.
Same, so that's what I mean. It's the same thing as Gordon.
And it is, yeah. And plus, obviously, his standing at his age, 22, 23, he's even though he's from up north, he's a Chilean international, which puts him, I imagine, on the people in places like Spain will probably go. They'll probably go, well, he must have something about him. So,
but he needs to prove that his 22 league goals wasn't just
no,
that's
what we were saying before. We were saying if he was 10 million quid as your third choice striker who can maybe takes a year to develop, that's perfect. But once you start talking 20 million quid, you're not going to go near that.
I've only seen him live once. He certainly doesn't have pace, put it that way.
Ben Martin, I'm flattered by your comments, but I'm not going to read them out.
I mean, there you go. There you go.
Thank God I can't see them then. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to read this last one.
It's all about your body, is it?
That's a particular part of my body.
Your hair.
And that it has,
Manchester
and that
United
it has
have
abs.
I've won 1-0.
Where's that put them? It's 3 in the bounce.
Brendan under pressure.
9 points.
Have Leicester won a game yet?
Him and Gerrard competing.
They were 2-0
for
up
the
at
sack,
Southampton, weren't they? And drew 2-2.
Leicester are officially worse than us. Team O'Brien
Man United 5th.
says, almost got kicked out the Titanic Hotel because I was wearing an Everton kit, and apparently there are several players here tonight. Checked my card. Why don't you come up here if you're over in this country? Timo?
Timo. Do you remember when we
Send a
all
car
best
for him.
Timo in from Florida?
But apparently, Peacock's just said he's out. Peacock is sitting outside Finch Farm, and he said a very big, expensive Aldi's just drove in at speed.
Oh.
To do the bins.
That'll be Denise then, yeah?
Never mind, Chad, just Denise.
She might come back. Forgot her handbag.
Kieran says Dennis struck you lazy.
Hey?
Is it Ross? Yeah. Is it Ross?
Ross and Bella favourites.
Memphis.
Tom Cleverley.
Getting the band back together.
Toffee plays. I don't want Brendan Rodgers to get sacked. I think he's doing a great job.
Pragmatic as ever, Ned. Let's have a look.
Landon Donovan on loan. USA.
How close is Eriksen's face there? Jesus.
Trying to really and capture the sweat.
It's the guy interviewing him who's, on the left-hand side.
Wow, what a great set of hair on him. Look how cool is him on the left. How does he keep it like that?
Andy Agnelli says, bell that brochure one more time, please.
That brochure, lad.
Jamie Crellin says, I can't see another forward coming in now. Disappointed, but it's 12 games with Maupai and DCL. If and when fit before the window opens again, big risk. Yeah, it's 11 games till the World Cup.
And that will come into the calculations as well, won't it?
Yeah.
Dom's going to have a stormer off a couple of months now, hasn't he, to go with England.
Everton Viking says, I do wonder why we waited so long to get deals done. Though, if we had around 10 to 15 million, it means we had it a few days ago. There are so many targets we could have in before today. Now we've just left ourselves short. It seems really weird. Why wait this long? The likes of João Pedro, Brendan Diaz, we could have had last week for fees less than what they wanted. Maupai we could have had before we got him. So we've sacrificed 4 games without a striker just to get Maupai in. Seems just weird business to me. It is weird. The whole thing's weird, though, isn't it, though? Like, we were talking about business before. This is mad, isn't it? Letting a whole window run down to one night where you're scratching round and then going, oh, we just couldn't get it done in time. That's why I couldn't understand last week about them. I know the Premier League had us off, but why did we wait so long to bring Maupai in? If we were always after him, why did we wait an extra day to get him when... It just seems all of it's crazy, not just Everton. I just find it all crazy.
Because one assumes he wasn't a first, second or third choice, potentially.
That's what I find mad. I find mad that clubs let business run down to...
Chelsea are spending money for fun. Yeah. Aubameyang flies into London this afternoon. Okay, so he had a domestic, didn't he, which probably didn't help. But you know what I mean? They're running like mad, aren't they, to get that deal done? And if we're sitting in behind that on a loan player...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I understand that one, John. Yeah, it's just some of them are just some of the things that get done.
We get a perception as a fan base, though, that the club has just been sitting on their hands, And I bet our club, just like all these other clubs, have been running around like lunatics since the window. Well, the season started, certainly, and it certainly shouldn't take place while the season's on anyway, should it?
No. Well, that's one of them, though. I liked it when it was saying you were going to shut it, but then you get to the first day and you lose 2 players, and then suddenly you think, oh, if only that window was open. So there is that thing I think of. I almost think that what they should do is have the window open, shut it before the window for the season starts, and then reopen it for a week, 4 weeks later. So
something like that.
So you can go. We've had injuries, or we've seen that we need something else in our team.
It's like the emergency goalkeeper thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I am more on
side with your Premier League draft day idea than ever today. That would have been so excited.
We talked about before. It'd be great fun.
Everyone in a hotel on deadline day, going, what do you need? I need this. Right, we've got this fella. Can we do it now? Sound. That would be brilliant. Like an extra day. Like the window shut yesterday, but today, they all go into a hotel and they go, what do you need? I need a centre-back. Oh, I've got a centre-back. Who is it? So-and-so. Oh, I'll come here then. But
you would have had to agree with the centre-back that we might sell you today, we might not.
Yeah, well, like you said before, players, it's on the contract. We want to sell you, you go, and that's the end of it.
No, it's not the end of it.
No.
They can say no, because they've got a contract. And that's where the States thing's completely different.
No, yeah.
But where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but if a player...
We can have a clearinghouse,
but if a player wants... I mean, look at today, so Villa bought their Donker, right?
Yeah.
So that's a player who's made a sideways move from Wolves to Villa.
Yeah.
Because Wolves have got players in that area and Villa haven't. And it's as simple as that.
It's a spare.
And it's just... You move sideways, the wages will probably be nearly the same.
Doesn't have to move house.
But everything will be the same. Everything will be the same, won't it? And it's those kind of deals which, on a day like today, it's like... And that is sort of like what happens in the NFL and places like that. It's like, what have you got? Well, we've got this and we don't need it anymore. Well, what have you got? Well, we've got this. Do you need one of these? Yeah. And it's just that what we need, what our needs are different from your needs, and we can help each other out. And that's it, isn't it, at the end of the day? Like, you just imagine if they had a day like that where you just...
trade.
And Sky are in there and BT are in there and they're covering it all. Be brilliant. I think that would take off.
Imagine getting access to go in that hotel room.
If only we had a load of American owners of Premier League clubs, you know.
Well, we were saying this the other day. The American clubs, the American owners, they want that kind of thing. They want...
The Premier League hates competition, so it would never
the Americans
benefit
love it, though, because
teams.
it's what... They understand that, and this is why they wanted
That's why
the
they don't
Super
have
League.
relegation.
But this is why they wanted the Super League, because they love the league being rich rather than the single club, because they all know they'll get rich. And if you make it a closed market, everyone wins.
Yeah.
And they're all mates.
And if you do make it a closed market, which is hence the franchise system, then the value of your franchise, and that's what's happening here, isn't it? You know, the Premier League income streams and stuff are growing and growing and growing and growing. And, you know, when Everton come up for sale in a couple of years' time, then there'll be a bun fight for it.
Definitely.
And it'll be Middle and Far Eastern rich people competing with rich North Americans who are more sporting wise, you know, and we'll be saying as fans, sell it to these North Americans because they're the ones who've got sporting experience, and you hope you get an American owner that's a good one rather than an American owner that's a bad one.
Yeah. Right, there's an hour left. Window is open for one more hour. You could have written something and played it for a little.
I'm not
countdown.
Yeah.
I'm not bloody.
You know what?
I'm just a normal man.
Gary Ward says it's been a pretty good window so far, although another forward would have been nice.
Who's that?
Gary Ward says
Hey
that.
Gary, what would you give it out of 10?
Alex P says overall this has been the best window we've seen in a long while, so I think we can take a lot away from that. However, not bringing another striker is a real lack of planning by the recruitment staff, so that is disappointing and concerning. He gives it a 7 out of 10.
Do you think it's a lack of planning or a lack of execution? Because it then becomes who you blame.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
If you want to blame somebody, you know.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting injured through a spanner in the works, didn't it? But I think before that they should have been looking, but then...
But we would have had the challenge on, do you really want to go into the season with one striker who spent virtually all of last season injured?
Yeah.
So I can't believe that the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Right? So the manager must have wanted a striker. Director of football, it's your job, mate, to go and sort it all out. And then you've got the budget constraints, haven't you?
Peter Finn says, do you think the better range of different types of midfielder? Do you think with a better range of different types of midfielders to Liverpool? I find it quite impressive with upgraded midfield and spending £38 million on it. I don't understand that first bit of your question, Peter. But no, I mean we've come out of it with a good win.
It's how we're going to play, isn't it?
We've come out of it with a completely different midfield. What will be okay? That's we've been sort of lucky in a way there to that he's gone in there and he's done really well. Onana, Garner, James Garner when it's done gives us another one. Tom Davis is back up. Allen's still at the club. That's that from what we had last season, which was basically Decore and Allen for the entire season, and you know when
it's a team or a squad of midfield players. isn't it?
The fact that Decore's out injured and we don't know when he comes back. Last season when Decore went out injured, we had Delph come in, who's a holding midfielder, doesn't offer you what Decore is going forward. And we were crying out for him to come back. Decore's gone out injured, and we're questioning whether he'll even be thrown back straight back in when he comes back.
Well, he won't be thrown back in, will he?
And that's a good thing to worry about, or at least a good problem to have. Is he going to play or is he not? Well, that's up to him to work hard. And we know if a player starts underperforming, then they come out the side, and we got Decore's right to go in.
I think
a Delph or something.
Kane's just messaging me there saying, and it is a good point. Like, have we really brought in goals? And that's the worry, isn't it? We haven't really brought in goals. We've brought in Maupai, but the other players don't really give you goals. They make you stronger. They make you stronger at the back and the midfield, but they're not exactly goal scorers, and that is why everyone was crying out for an attacker today to give those extra goals. And if you look at it from that point of view, it's still a worry where are the goals coming from during the season.
I think part of it, though, is if we look at the games we've had already, which chances have we made and not taken, which a, quote, proper striker would have? Answers on a postcard.
Well, we all said if we had a strike in those first few games, we'd probably have 2 wins under our belt, I think, from those games, if we had a proper striker. Now, people will say, well, we have got Don coming back and we have got Mopai, but it shouldn't be about when they come back. It should be he can get the goals and he can get the goals and he can get the goals.
I'm not sure it's just, well, certainly not just, but the lack of the striker isn't just about the goal scoring side, is it? It's about shape, it's about relief from pressure, because what we've been doing is hoiking the ball up the field and come straight back again, isn't it? So it puts pressure on the defence, because we've talked about Tark and and his Cody and what have you, but they've been as panicky as anyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this maturity bit, we've ridden our luck, right? But swarming is helping, and working hard and so on. But you can't do that amount of running around the whole season.
Carla Byrne says, thanks for all the content, lads, and the lives today. I haven't gone near Sky, and why would you? Thank you, Carla. Thank you for the super chat. Interesting one on Talk Sport. I don't really like to mention them, but I will mention them. Harry Redknapp's been on, and he said, I rung Frank and said, Frank, take a chance on Dele Alli. And he said he was a disaster. He was losing the ball. He was walking to him. He said, what's happened to him? Where is his career going? That's what he said about Dele Alli. So
well done, Harry.
That's an interesting one.
Keep your confidences,
Did he roll up in his car and roll his window down and goes, well, I spoke to Frank and he said, well, he said, well,
his gang turned up here.
He was a great player, but he stopped running to the ball,
Why is he doing Sylvester Stallone?
Well, I've got some great plays, Jeff.
It's not bad, actually, that, No, his impersonation.
If he had a car window, it would
is
more
it
realistic.
Though? Is it?
It's not bad.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
It certainly wasn't Sylvester Stallone.
Danny Monix says, if we don't panic by someone, I'll be impressed and disappointed.
No, he's right, because that's I said don't take anyone, and you can still be disappointed if we didn't get a primary target or secondary. Yeah,
I agree.
But don't just take anyone in a all port in a storm type thing.
Jake says, so the Chuck Weezy rumours were all rubbish. Obviously there was maybe a conversation and it hasn't been done. Simple as that. Conversations.
All players should have RFID tags on deadline day.
Conversations.
So you know where they all are. Of course they are, yeah. Journalists who don't know what they're talking about don't help either. So.
John Smith Jr. on the super chat says, Cuco Martina, Nias, Rondon, Sando, Ramirez, pick one to have a pint with.
Pass.
Nias.
There's a few Muslims in there, mate, so I think that's a bit wrong. So
that's a good point.
Gary Ward says 7.5 out of 10 for the window. Toffee Chaz says, is James Garner confirmed? No.
Saving that for
Eric Viking says, also weird, Garner still not announced. Let people go to bed, Everton. It's only 10 o'clock.
Thursday night, student night.
No, James Garner.
No. Garner's been
done. But the other one hasn't.
Yeah.
Lou says, I'm perplexed that we haven't signed a replacement for Richie. Hope it doesn't come to bite us on the arse. Yeah. And Andy Agnelli says, why are people on Twitter saying the plane landed near Chelsea to Finch Farm and it's Brozier? Because people on Twitter are mad.
Oh my God. I just had the greatest idea of how they can announce James Garner.
Go on.
So they get a picture of like Garner from behind, but at an angle with Garner on the back facing Idrissa Garner Gay, with them pointing at each other like this. Yeah, but because they're both Garner. Yeah, but it's Garner, and there's that confusion.
Hang on. Just to add to it, Garner's not his name. His name is Idrissa Gay.
Yeah, but you know.
Well, no. His name's and that's how they'll be separated. Also, they're not both called Garner.
Couldn't we just get back Richie's goals by conceding 13 less?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, that was my point with Tarkowski.
Yeah.
He turns losses into draws. We only have to get 10 draws, and that's 10 points. That's probably what.
Gray Lead says, in terms of goals, this entire squad is just going to have to up their collective game and start scoring from other areas, particularly scoring from set pieces. Why are we so bad at set pieces? Also, we badly need a throwing coach just so we don't give the opposition the ball from them every time. And have done since I've watched football for 30 years. Maya said a solid 3.5 out of 10 for this window. Lack of attackers really disappointing. However, fingers crossed DCL stays fit and think we'll be sound. Cheers, fellas. Glenn Watson says, Ned, do your Godfather impression.
My Godfather impression?
Marlon Brando.
Go on.
Something to hold.
Why? What was he holding?
I give you an offer I couldn't refuse.
What was that? And what was he holding?
Work for me.
What was he holding in The Godfather?
It's just like a kitten or something.
No, it's not.
No, that was his Danger Mouse.
No, I'm
James
thinking
Bond.
I'm trying to remember like a Godfather. Imagine how like when Reggie Cray had like a ball python, like a snake.
I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
There you go. That was terrible.
Sound like the Chief from Batman.
Keith M says, well, think we just need to accept another striker is not on the cards. No point getting a striker for the sake of it if it's no better than Rondon. Peter Finn says, do you think Everton have a better midfield than Liverpool? Oh, that's what you were trying to say. I think so, because we have lots of different types of midfielders. I wouldn't want to say that. They've got Liverpool on their day. They've got a fantastic midfield. Let's not.
They're all workhorses.
We can compare them on Saturday.
Let's not all start patting each other on the back and saying it's been amazing. Let's just see what happens. The proof will be in the pudding.
Let's find out on Saturday.
Get back here.
Get in the chopper.
Is this contagious?
Patrick says, now the window's almost closed and you have seen all the teams play. Who do you think gets top 4 this season?
Ooh.
Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham. Personally, I think Chelsea will drop out.
I think Arsenal miss out on top 4. Me, you know. I still think they need a proper good.
A proper good what?
Number 6 or something, or good midfielder, dominant midfielder.
Who? No,
Arsenal,
which team?
Arsenal. I think Arsenal will drop out the top 4.
They weren't in the top 4, so why are they going to drop out?
No, they're in the top 4 now, aren't they?
I think they'll be all right.
I think they'll finish 5th again.
I think Chelsea are the team that need to be worried.
I'm backing Chelsea to get top 4. And Tottenham.
Write it down.
Ned caressing a Lucozade bottle is the highlight of the day.
Ned sounded more like the Claw from Inspector Gadget than Don Corleone.
Inspector!
Hey, I make you an offer you can't refuse.
I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
I'd have Josh King in our front 3 now.
Andy, I apologise for pronouncing your name.
How did you pronounce it?
I pronounced it wrong. It should have been a goalie. A
goalie? That's a boss.
Brozier says, Danny Monarch says, Brozier, stop messing, lad. Come on. Adam M says, Depay just announced he's staying at Barca. Looks like there'll be no domino effect now with Brozier coming here. Time to pack it up and go home, lads. Someone Bell Moise Keane. That's Marcus Cooper. Carla says, do you think if there's no new striker, then that someone from the under-21s will get a go? No. No, there's no one in the 21s.
Wow, we are 1 like away from 700 likes. That's a good achievement. Get us to 1,000, please.
Carla says Lille should do the players pointing at each other for the Gomez announcement, considering they've got midfield of Andre Gomez and Andre Gomez. That's a tremendous
Andre
midfield.
Gomez and Andre Gomez, yeah.
That's so confusing. When I was a kid, I used to get confused over Phil Neville and Phil Jagielka. I used to think they were related because I was only very young.
Because they're both called Phil.
Yeah. I was a young guy, and I'm from St Helens, so I'm a bit behind.
Because he says he's young.
Has Cam touched the inside of a toaster or something? Why is his hair all stuck up?
Because those three are all on the phones, and obviously nothing's happening. Yeah.
David Byrne says Tom Cannon might get one in the squad.
He won't.
No, he won't.
He won't. He's nowhere near it.
He should be out on loan next season. I think, now.
Yeah, Memphis staying at Barcelona.
What's Aubameyang doing?
Is he gone to Chelsea or what?
Louise is not leaving. Douglas Luiz is not leaving Villa for Arsenal. £25 million bid turned down.
Really?
Liverpool complete the loan deal for Arthur Mello.
Dutch, I'm going to Liverpool, Dutch. Hey, boy.
Anyone want to come and sit here?
Why? Please come and...
Arthur Morgan's gone to Liverpool. Rode in on his horse.
Garner done. Get it out. James
finally.
Garner has signed for Everton. It is official. Can we go home now? Let's see if we can get some comments.
I need to put that video out, don't I?
No press release yet.
I'll put the video out, guys.
James Garner is pointing at camera. He signed a 4-year contract for an undisclosed fee. Be boss of Everton put on their website. He is 21, isn't he?
I'll put that on the graphic in a minute.
Let's have a look what it says. Everton have any chance of...
Hello, James.
What would be good is if you actually updated your website.
It's alright, they've still got Idris again.
There's your Anthony Gordon. Adding a year on for more money. 4 years is the new 5. More than 3.
Garner signed there. Yeah, I'll give you some of the... let's see what the quotes say. He says, I'm made up to sign for Everton. It's a huge step in my career and I want to help the team get better while progressing as a player. I think Everton is the perfect place to do that. I can't wait to get started. The manager has got a real plan for this club and for me. Working with him on a daily basis is major for me. Him and the staff can take me and the team to the next level. That's what I'm hoping. I know how passionate Evertonians are. I'm passionate myself and the sort of player who feeds off the crowd. I know what the fans are like, so I think I'll be a good fit. I'm a box-to-box midfielder who can play in different roles and can support the defence and attack. I like to support with goals and assists, but can do the hard work too, which was equally as important. I feel like I can bring real energy to the team. It is something that Everton definitely demands, and I can add that in abundance. I have got quality as well, so hopefully I can be a big part of what's coming and have a good season.
Expecting to play, isn't he?
Frank Lampard says James is a fantastic midfielder with a great all-round game who has qualities we know Evertonians will appreciate. We are all really looking forward to working with him and hoping to having him add further strength to our squad. Kevin Felwell says we are delighted to have brought James to Everton, a player with a broad skill set who adds more quality to our midfield options. He is a young, hungry player and we are confident that he will be a great addition for many years to come while getting even better working with Frank and his coaching staff.
Do you know
there
what?
You go.
Player his age.
He's in the press release.
No, I don't.
It's a mess.
I don't know if I've had the press release. We don't seem to get press releases anymore.
I like to think it's a mess because they're rushing to do something else, right?
Well, they should have other people doing that, shouldn't they?
No, I know, but it is the format and all to...
For a player his age and the position he plays, it must be exciting for him getting to work with a manager getting to work with Frank Lampard, with what he achieved in the game, of course, being the highest scorer midfielder in the Premier League ever.
Do you think what you're going to say before you start talking?
No, of course he
I thought
doesn't.
that was a very good point.
No.
If I was a midfielder, I'd be like, oh, I'm literally going to be managed by
it
the
is a good
greatest
point,
midfielder
but
in
it
the
came
Premier
out
League.
like you were.
He also said, James Garner also said, do you know, like when everyone talks, it's really like annoying. Thank you.
Of all the people who would say that.
No, but when you're trying to do something, everyone's talking over you. It's properly annoying.
Paige, walk in front of the camera.
He said,
right.
I captained every
what?
team up to the first team at Manchester United, and the same with England. It's a quality I definitely have. I'm still only young, and there's a lot of leaders in Everton's team now. But it's something I've always had, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind and lead by example. The club has really high-quality players, and I'm looking forward to learning from them while contributing myself. My experience at Nottingham Forest last season, how I improved as a player, has given me confidence I can perform at the highest level. I want to take that into the Premier League and do it with Everton. So yeah, sounds very, very confident, and he's a local lad as well, so he should know what it's all about. And it's just going to be interesting to see where he fits in with the squad. So that's it, and that would seem like that's probably it for Everton tonight. 2 signings on the day, a Garner and a Garner. Yeah, it is slightly
underwhelming.
It's not. I wouldn't say underwhelming. It's just
deflating.
Just slightly off, isn't it? Just slightly off. It would just be perfect if we can get another centre forward. It would have been.
We've done it before.
Yeah, listen. It is what it is. As I said, I think if you're going to get those kind of players in, you need to get them earlier, don't you? But it is what it is. We haven't managed to get it. We've got a lot more than I thought we were going to get. And we've got, the back four, completely new back four, a completely new midfield, and we've added other players to that. And I suppose the only one we're waiting on now is to see if Andre Gomez move to Lille is going to go through. That'll be the last one now, I imagine, for us. So, yeah. But that one's through the door, so they don't have to keep anyone awake now. But
we're all going to be here for 40
and we'll be here for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see what the comments say over on Toffee TV Premier. Toffee Chaz says, get Paige, Ned and Cam on for 5 minutes of the last 5 minutes of the window.
How about the last 40 minutes?
We'd love to see them say, and the window is slammed shut. But you're that. Alex P says, two Phil's story had me in stitches. Well done to Ned for the best laugh I've had all week. You are a gem.
The what story?
Two Phil's story. What's that?
He was confused. He thought Phil Jags and Phil Neville were related.
Oh, when was this?
Well,
because you were both called Phil.
Yeah.
Well, John, they're both great players, and sometimes great players are rated. just like my Jamie and Frank. You're both great players. And
Stuart Lowe says,
keep the singing up, mate.
Oh no, Piv's not here, so we can't ask him. The Yang failed the medical at Nice. Hakan Suk at Everton have a new video of Bramley Moore doc ready to be released in 45 minutes. Ooh, controversial.
Cynical.
Ian Allison said, I love John Blaine and Ped's contract 15-minute filler. So at the risk of stirring the pot.
Here we go again.
Hey, I don't
just
care.
seemed like 45
That's
minutes.
fine. We're here to have a chat. He said, I saved my business 3.2 million operational cost this year, hypothetically. My salary was not increased, but it received a bonus for reaching a stretch target of my goals and objectives. I'm sure footballers' contracts are loaded with goals and objectives. Trade-off for the more money is length of service if renegotiated. Listen, I don't argue with any of that, but you work for a real business. Football's not real. It's all fly by the night. It's all, what has that person done in the last few weeks? Sensible businesses, of course, will do that kind of thing. Footballers should all be incentivized, all of it. That should never have changed, ever. It should be like the NFL. It should be, you get us to the playoff, we'll give you £1 million, or we can release you at the drop of a hat. It all should be. But that's not the world, because we let the players with Bosman start running the madhouse, really. And unfortunately, clubs have fell for it and gone with it, because they all got into this thing of, we have to keep paying and paying and paying and paying, because they were all, and it's got worse, because none of them can keep up with PSG and Manchester City. So now they're all offering very, very average players shed loads of money, and they're chasing the tails, and that's how it should be. And John's absolutely right, by the way, what he said. He's absolutely right. That's the way it should be. What I was saying is that's just not the way it is, because football is just a madhouse. Personally, that's
going to change, though, isn't it?
Hopefully, I hope it does, John. I've said before, there should be a cap on what football clubs can spend.
Well, there will be.
And your top, no, I mean like not a wage cap, like if you get 50, you pluck a number out the air, you got £100 million to spend a year on salaries. So you give your highest fella a salary of the most, and the fella who's 17-year-old who's in the youth academy coming through, you give him buttons. But if someone comes in for him and says you'd be the best player in our team, then he can go for buttons as well, because his salary is reflected in what is.
So you want the transfer fee to be a multiplier of salary, then?
Basically, yeah. Which I think is fair.
Because you could argue that what you pay the person is an expression of their worth.
Yeah.
So you can have a simple algorithm, depending on age and all that sort of stuff, that multiplies it up.
Basically. James Holland says, well, Team O'Brien says Garner official. Cheers, mate. Justin Holland says, how can we finish higher than 15th with this trash bench and no more goals or pace? What does the first 11 squad look like for the derby now?
Do you think Garner will go straight in?
I think Adissa Garner Gay is very likely to start if he's
not played football for.
He knows how to play football. It's whether he's fit.
Yeah.
It's whether he's fit, isn't it? That's what it comes down to. Whether he's got 60 minutes in his under his belt. What you got to look at for the derby is, let's say James Garner's on the bench. Let's say Dwight McNeil's on the bench. Let's say Tom Davis is on the bench. You know, then you've got a couple more. Mopai starts up front. So, you know, if you look at it like that, there are more options than on the bench. And then in a couple of weeks' time, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on the bench, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts, and then Mopai's on the bench, or he's not and stays in the team, and Damari Gray's on the bench. And that's the way you got. And I think the way you got to look at it, if you have 5 players who at one point were in the team who were then suddenly on the bench, I think 5 out of 9 is acceptable. And then you've got a backup centre back and a backup left back and a backup right back, Seamus, and then a couple of kids. I think that's acceptable. Is that enough for us? I don't know. But
that's where the splashing the cash from the so-called bigger clubs is coming from. Doing that, giving depth to the you know, and increased rotation.
Yeah.
We are done, by the way.
Justin Holland also on the Super Chat says where's Iwobi playing now? We have 3 new midfielders.
In the 3.
Well, at the moment, Iwobi is undroppable in my opinion.
He's 100% in the 3.
The other players have got to work even harder to force themselves into the team, and that's a good issue to have, like I said before.
But you'll have 5 midfield players, maybe 6 who get a game almost every game.
Yeah, players get injured.
Just rotation, just to take the load off.
Yeah, it's competition, isn't it? Players in training every day, battling against each other, and at the end of the week, the manager's got a decision to pick. Or on a Saturday, one of them doesn't play very well, and you go, you're out the team, lad. You sit down. Or a lad is fatigued and needs a break, and you go, come on, you don't play this week, and so comes in. And I think that's the way every club operates. So I think Iwobi starts at the moment. Ian Allerton says, I got another 5 minutes now. That's worth the entrance fee. Okay.
So not finish all of Ian's Tim Tams.
Charles Stone says, do we still play 3 at the back with all these talented midfielders? Love the stream from the US. No, I like 3 in midfield, so I'd keep what we had on Tuesday night personally, John.
4-3-3.
Yeah.
I'd have 3-5-3. No.
But I would I don't
4-4-1. Yeah, make it all up.
So you'd have a 3 at the back, but you have 3
in all seriousness, I think the 3 at the back works.
Does it though?
And gives you more flexibility elsewhere on the pitch. Yeah.
No, I like 3 midfield personally.
I think I like 3 at the back if we use our full-backs, really.
Oh no, well that's the point, isn't it? It's whether you think 3 at the back's really 5 at the back, right? Because then 4 at the back sounds less, defensive, if you will. I mean, from a numbers point of view.
Yeah.
Because but if you've got, I think if you look at the way they were playing in the last couple of games, and okay, they're all working very hard. I think hopefully what we're coaching as a system is flexibility. It's going to be less rigid. Because actually, if you look at the way the Shite play, it's 2 at the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can play that game. So if you've got 4 at the back, which is I think what you're saying, is it?
Yeah, I'd go 4-3-3.
Yeah, but if it's 4 at the back with the 2 full backs we've got now, so at times it's 2 at the back, then you are flooding midfield then with bodies.
But there you have a natural number 6. He drops to make a 3 anyway.
We've got players who are not going to play though, haven't we?
I just.
How do you shoehorn Alan in?
I don't think you do.
That's what I mean.
I honestly thought Alan.
But if he's been told that he can leave and he hasn't left, then that's not Evans' fault, is it?
That's what we were talking about before. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
He's got a contract, you know. Same with Gomez.
Yeah.
I just looked at when we played up against a decent midfield 3 at Brentford. We had 2 players in midfield, Iwobi and Onana, who were good, full of energy, and we still don't think we had enough in midfield. When I personally think we look much better with a 3 in midfield.
I just think when we play 3 at the back, at this point, I don't know if the wing backs know whether to stick or twist. And I think maybe having someone like Garner in there, Adrissa Garner Gay, would help them.
Pickpocket, yeah.
But then you're saying, well, who plays next to him? Because it'd only be it'd have to be Onana, and then where does that leave Iwobi? And I just think just at the moment, the balance of the team, I certainly wouldn't play 3 at the back on Saturday, because I think what'll happen is it'll just be 5, and we'll get destroyed in midfield, and Liverpool will just pick us off.
That's the point.
They'll just pick us off.
If it's really 5, then
because that's all that happened against Chelsea. They just, even though we defended really well, it was to a point. And it just happened that one mistake cost us the game. But it was always going to be because we lost the midfield and they just camped on the edge of the box. And then it's just a numbers game then, isn't it?
Patterson had his best game the other night because McNeil was always filling in behind him.
Well, I think he had his best game because...
Looking at Baz over there, he's not a McNeil fan.
No. I think he had his best game because I think he knew exactly what his role was. I just think when they play wing-back, both of them, even though Patterson has played wing-back a lot of time, I just don't think they're prepared to gamble because they're worried. Because, look, on the other side, Tarkowski looks a little bit fragile in a 3.
He does.
He doesn't look like he suits him. Cody's looks fine.
Dead calm with it, yeah.
But there's no pace in the 3. That's the real problem. If there's no pace in a back 3, then you're stuck because you haven't got your full-backs then to sweep up behind you. And I think that's the problem. So I'm
with you, yeah.
If we'd put Keane if we put Keane in a 3 on Tuesday night, it would have been.
It's about personnel, isn't it, as well? Yeah.
Ben Godfrey's the biggest loss out of a 3.
Totally agree.
Because he's that pace, he's that killer pace,
recovery pace,
and now we haven't got that. So there you go. Right, we're into the last half an hour, and I think Baz is coming back. Baz is coming back on.
You haven't got Holgate either, have you?
No. Yeah. And we haven't got Mina either.
Why coming out?
All these centre backs we've got injured, and they're bitching about one, aren't they? That lot across. You want your seat back?
We should have known what to stand by. That would have been a good idea.
They would have, yeah.
It won't be Uncle D. I've done me uncle.
We are done.
Oh, was that the big man, John?
You'd like to think
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we can say there.
Hello. So, half an hour to go. Everton.
For you, mate, don't worry.
The A-team on for the last bit, yeah?
Yeah. We talk about all the other clubs who were trying to do business, but the lights have gone out of Finch fan. They went out at 8 o'clock, really, in terms of trying to do things.
Ned,
But
after about 10 minutes, take that off charge for me, please, brother. Give it 15.
So, basically, that's us done unless there was a miracle.
There you go.
How do you feel? Listen, my good mate.
8 away from Tarzan, by the way.
Yeah, my good mate, Barry. Barry Williams has called it a horrendous window. I will pull him up on Saturday. Yeah, I will pull him up on Saturday when I see him at the match. I don't think it's a horrendous window whatsoever. It's a little bit annoying and frustrating that we haven't, Steve, we haven't really fully addressed losing. Because, like we said before, last season, we had Dom was injured a lot, but even when we had Dom and we had Richarlison, we were still saying we needed another person in with Anthony Gordon and Gray who had goals. Didn't we? Especially Andros Townsend, who'd got some goals that gone out injured. And we've lost Richarlison and Dom's injured. We brought Neil Maupay in. Can he get as many as Richie in a season? It's probably not. So we've not really addressed that, have we, in this window? Albeit, for me, we have strengthened in a lot of areas.
We have in the areas that we needed to. Obviously, defensively, we were poor last season. We addressed that. Midfield, we've definitely addressed. Like, we've gone from probably having one of the worst midfields in the league to having potentially one of the better ones in the league now. But my only issue, and like you just said, and again, I repeat myself what I said before, we needed a goal scoring wide player, and we didn't get one. And again, it's early days. Dwight McNeil might prove me wrong. He might become a really good player, but he's not going to be getting your 11, your 12 goals, which Richarlison was getting. It's not going to happen. My only other worry as well is that Anthony Gordon and Damari Gray, we seen Damari Gray last season start the season really well, and then he went missing for 6 months. Anthony Gordon's a very young player who's going to have moments in the season where he might need taken out or his form drops. Then we have nothing else apart from that. Then, and that's my biggest worry. And I get people's frustration. I really do, and I get people saying it's a bad window because of who we lost. We lost a player who's your talisman money. If you needed a game where you're going to try and rough it out and you're going to get something, he might nick you the goal. I just don't think we've got that now. And I know we've got Dom coming back, and it'll be great to have him back. And we've got Malpay as his backup, or who he can play with Dom. But we shouldn't be just having to rely on Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score us goals. Unless Anthony Gordon's going to get 12, 13 goals this season, and Damari Gray's going to get double figures. Not saying we're going to be in the same position as last season, but it's going to be a tough old slog again, I think, this season. Unless, like I said to you before, the only other thing I could think is if they're going to wait till January. We've got 2.5 months, haven't we, really, until January.
15 games.
Because of the World Cup.
Till the window opens again.
You wonder whether they're saving for the January. I don't know.
2 loans.
But it's still 2 loans available. There might be a bit more money coming through the door by then, sponsorships, stuff like that. But I don't know. The goals worry me. The goals.
Okay. Cam, saying to you, how are you viewing it?
Yeah, I agree. I think horrendous is a bit of a strong word. By our mate Baz. But I think we've strengthened in key areas in terms of defence, which was desperately needed. Bit of leadership, bit of grit, bit of desire. Said this before. What I think we've noticed over the last couple of games is players are fighting for each other. There's battle, there's work. I can't remember how many times we sat here last season and said the opposition team, insert whichever team it was here, wanted it more than we did, whereas we're not really finding ourselves having those conversations anymore. Even when we're not getting the result we want, you can still see that effort there. The midfield, obviously, we've strengthened quite significantly with Onana and the 2 Garners coming in. I think we've got something like 7 midfielders, as well as Alex Iwobi establishing himself as a centre midfielder, which obviously none of us thought would happen at the start of the season. But I completely agree with Steve. The goals is the worry. Now, I actually think Maupay will be a really successful sign, and I think Everton will change a lot when Maupay's in there, because we haven't had a striker, let's be honest. Since Dominic Calvert-Lewin got injured, so effectively since last season, and even last season he was hit and miss with injuries. So I think we'll see. I think a lot of people will be surprised at how much better we are with a striker in there. But you're absolutely right. They ultimately, if one of those wide players has a shaky season, or Gordon maybe doesn't grow in the way that we expect him to grow, or Gray does what he did last season and falls off again midway through the season, or God forbid one of them gets an injury, then we are incredibly weak in those areas. And ultimately to rely on Dwight McNeil.
We're relying on inconsistent players, basically.
Yeah, we are. We're relying on players that haven't proven that the goal scorers ultimately. And Don will come back and Maupay will be there, but your wide players this needs to be a season that we look at Anthony Gordon and go, yeah, he's unbelievable, and Gray's had a good solid season. And we haven't got that Richarlison who you looked at every summer and went, well, there's 10 goals at least. That's 10 goals regardless of what he does or what he doesn't. And without Richarlison's goals last season, we wouldn't be in the position that we are. So I know you've got Townsend to come back and he scored goals last season, etc. But it is slightly worrying. Another goal scorer would have been, for me, was a necessity because we are weak now. Mopé comes out on Saturday and gets injured. We're back where we were a week ago. And, you know, ultimately Gordon's had a good couple of games. Gray had a good couple of games previously, but will he be able to keep that up? I don't know.
What's Ederson Cavani up to?
It's just signed for Villarreal. Villarreal it was because I looked at Chuck.
There'll be some on Bellotti. Has he signed for Rome here?
No, he's gone. He's gone.
I don't know, yeah.
I absolutely...
Ronaldo?
Cristiano. I absolutely agree in terms of the goals. That's the worry, isn't it? The goals was always going to be the worry. What I would say is, if we're better than we are last season in terms of don't concede as many. We conceded stupid amount of goals last season.
Yeah.
So
we won't
not
concede
having
as
someone
many.
at the other end of the pitch putting it in really hammered us. We are going to have to be almost Wolves-like last year, where they were just so tight.
They only scored 39 goals.
Yeah, they just nicked goals, nicked games. We may have to do that. Don will add goals, he will, and he creates chances because he's big. He takes people with him. Maupay, like we said before, normally gets 8, 9, 10 goals. We're gonna, we're hoping Anthony Gordon has a better return than last season. Well, already he's got 50% of his goals from last season, and let's be honest, he's actually got more than last season because 3 of last season were picked off. One hit him on the heel, and others were deflections.
Every one of the others was deflected. Yeah.
We've seen that. 3 in midfield and a much stronger midfield. Can they get goals?
Yeah.
It is. If Everton could have got another forward tonight, it would have. I think we would have gone. That's a really good window.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't.
Yet.
We haven't.
There's still time.
And that is why everybody is a little bit underwhelmed, I think, at the end. Or frustrated because Richarlison left such a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder why, if they weren't going after anybody else, why didn't they go to Emmanuel Dennis the other week? And I can only think of down payments. This is just something on deadline day anyway, but Brendan Rodgers has just spoken to 5 Live, and this is what he said. This isn't the club that it was 2 years ago, and that's the reality. We haven't brought in any new players, bar one, late on, in the last 2 windows, and that's a replacement. So these players need the supporters. It's a moment that's really important. So it's another manager not happy with.
Sounds like another manager getting the sack.
Yeah, he looks like... What's happening? Oh, isn't it now? Harrington to Everton's not happening either. Okay. That's the goalkeeper from Ireland who Everton will link with today. So, yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on around the country as well, but that'll be one to watch. Leicester. The Bamba Deng story is incredible. Obviously, Everton. He was offered to Everton a couple of weeks ago, and Everton went against it in the end.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, I think, just decided it wasn't quite right. And he's been waiting to move, and obviously Leeds thought they may have had him. And he's decided at the 11th hour to go to Nice and has failed the medical. So we'll be back at Marseille. So yeah, I think Leeds will be quite happy.
They got rid of Dan James as well, didn't
and they got rid of Dan James, probably
loan.
on the strength that he was coming in. So I don't know whether they'll be looking at the watches open. Deadline day carries on a little bit longer than before.
So what have we, obviously in regards to, we sold Richarlison.
Yeah.
Andre Gomez probably going out the door.
Still waiting for confirmation of Andre Gomez's move to Lille, of course. I imagine that will be done, but not heard so far.
So what have we spent in this summer? What are we up to?
We spent 70 odd million,
70.
haven't we? And we recouped 60 million, so 15 million.
Yeah.
Richarlison's gone out the door. Obviously,
Gabaman,
Fabian Delph, Deli,
Tossen, Sigurdsson,
John Joe Kenny.
Yeah.
There's 7 immediately out the squad.
A few of the youngsters got
and
released.
A few of the youngsters have been released, and obviously we've had Ellis Sims on loan, Lewis Dobbin on loan. There's Lewis Warrington being confirmed.
So there's still talk of him going on loan, yeah, but
it's
there's
not
been
confirmed. Not been confirmed.
That could be like, you might not find out until tomorrow morning.
So there's quite a few gone out, and we've brought 8 in, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the goals are the one, aren't they? I think everybody, when the Charleston wins, everybody wanted, I think, Maxwell Cornet to come in or Emmanuel Dennis. They were the ones that people were looking at straight away, and obviously Everton didn't do that.
Yeah.
They tried for half a dozen forwards, I think, today,
yeah.
and have not been able to get one over the line. A lot of clubs wanting money that Everton simply don't have in terms of the room and the with
bank.
FFP. Well, with FFP, really, with the profit and sustainability. To be able to get enough money together that's acceptable to a club. It's okay saying, we will pay you that, but if it's not acceptable to the selling club,
pointless.
They don't need to, do they? And then it comes down to, and we've said it before, and as frustrating it is for us, it comes down to whether or not you are just filling your squad with players you aren't really going to do anything.
They're probably just banking on basically Malpay and Calvert-Lewin probably staying fit, aren't they? And the wide players staying fit until, like I said, after the World Cup, by the looks of it.
I mean, I wonder if now they will keep Rondon.
I think he'd be a bit stupid to let him go. And I know people might laugh about that, but it's an extra body up there, isn't it? It's
can't sell him now.
So if you still had,
because you never know, it's Everton.
If you still had Ellis Sims in the squad, and I'm not, again, I said before, I'm not saying Ellis Sims is good enough or whatever, but what I'm saying is if you still had that centre forward in the 21s, you could go at a push. He comes on the bench or he comes in, you could go, we can get rid of Rondon.
Yeah.
We haven't got Lewis Dobbin, who isn't.
No.
And Tom Cannon hasn't had any kind of minutes.
Batshuayi's not going to Forest.
Mitzi Batshuayi's not going to Forest.
How long have we got?
What could happen?
Minutes?
Chelsea could cancel his contract tonight and he'd be free tomorrow. We could sign him.
Someone said you can't do that though before.
Really?
Yeah, they were saying, because someone was saying about Memphis Depay, but they wouldn't be able to do it still.
He's staying, isn't he?
Why?
I'm not too sure. Someone said
next couple of days, but you can
I read that before.
I have heard that before.
I think someone said you can't. It's because I think it might be because. So say Depay cancel his contract tomorrow because it's something to do with the length of time you'd have to sign for someone else straight away. There's something in legality wise that you can't do that. I know, but I was reading it before. It might be on Twitter still, but.
Big Mitchy.
I just think with Rondon, like you said, he's not. Let's be honest, he's not. He is a fourth choice striker. He's now going to become third choice striker. It is what it is with him. He's worth keeping round just in case, really. And because it's Everton, mate. You don't know with our injury record over the last 12 months, 18 months. You can't really rely on it. Nobody else getting injured again.
It's not long either.
It's after. That's what I mean. I'm looking at it now. To me, it's 11 games until the World Cup, isn't it? So, and then
Mitchy for
15 games of it.
Mitchy for Richie.
Premier League, sorry.
So
Bournemouth game as well.
So that's 12.
Two after the break.
So 14 till it opens.
Yeah. So
maybe they've looked and thought.
Maybe they're just gambling on it.
Are we panicking if we go and get someone we don't really want? We all agree. We've took some players that out of desperation that we probably shouldn't have done in the past, haven't we?
I was about to say that, and it's something as fans we've moaned about as well, where we've just took any old player like the Josh King one. Last season, you seen Rondon as an example. We got Rondon because. Well, the number one, Benitez was in charge, and also we had nothing else on the bench after Dom, really. So that we, as a fan base, we wanted Everton not to just sign any old player. Everton, like you said, have probably been offered 5 or 6 or 7 forwards today, wide players. Yeah, and if and you know what, if they've looked at it and the wages aren't right and the player's not going to fit the team, in a way you can't really blame them for saying no. Because what do we want? Another player who's going to be sitting on a 2-year deal on high wages, who might only play 6 games, 7 games for the club.
Yeah.
And then in a year's time, he's sold for nothing. Well, he goes for nothing anyway.
Yeah.
Because that's where we've criticised the club.
I know.
We have.
Well, we're talking about Rondon now. One,
exactly.
Justin Holland on the super chat, nice one. Justin says, "Was McNeil a waste of money? Can we avoid a relegation scrap with the squad we have? And what position are we in at the World Cup break? Can we? Yeah, of course we can avoid a relegation battle. Only 5 games gone. We've lost 2 games. There's 3 teams in the bottom 4. We've lost 4. So goals, we get Dominic Calvert-Lewin back. We've got our number 9 back. Neil Maupai's in there. Get goals. We're tighter at the back. We're better in midfield. All of a sudden, it changes the whole team. Would I want 2 more forwards who can score goals? 100%. But I don't think necessarily that's it just because we haven't. And who realistically, where are we getting who guarantee goals on deadline day?
So,
really?
So, if players are released before the window closes, you can sign them tomorrow. But if they are released tomorrow, you can't sign them.
Yeah.
Mad.
So Ross Barkley can sign for anyone he wants tomorrow.
Because he's been released.
If he'd been released tonight.
Would have been.
But if he's released
so, Mitchie, if I was you, get Chelsea. Get Chelsea to release you right now.
So you could have a player unemployed, so they're not going
to release them.
To stop playing them.
Batshuayi hasn't even been given a number, has he? I don't think at Chelsea. He hasn't even got a squad number, has he? Mitchie at Chelsea.
No, he's not got a squad number.
I don't think they've even registered.
He's got 10 months left on his contract. He'll take the money. Was McNeil a waste of money?
No.
Obviously, Justin. No.
No, I think he'll do well.
Do you?
I do. Yes, I think he'll do well for Everton.
Okay.
I don't think he's a waste of money, but I don't think he was the right signing.
Okay. And
no, I agree with that. We could have spent that money in better areas, but I still think he'll be
not better areas, just a winger who can score goals.
He's got no history, has he, of scoring goals?
Yeah,
that's the problem with him. What position are we in at the World Cup break? This is obviously Justin and Stupid. Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Well, where will we be?
Yeah, we've got to just. We'll be in the bottom half, won't we? I imagine.
13th.
5th.
13th.
We're winning 4-1 on Saturday, and we'll be 5th.
12th, 13th.
Fair play. Okay. Jay Sullivan says, "Where's Barkley gone?" Well,
he's outside now.
He might go to Turkey.
Get his teeth done. Big Delhi.
Dark Side nails it early. Says, "I'd rather wait than sign someone else who isn't a great fit."
We just said that, didn't we? Yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It is. It's frustrating.
Of course,
because obviously you'd always want more. You know, we've got 8 players. And we're still saying we need more. We want more. There's never enough. The transfer window's been whipped up. But what I would say is, if Everton, sometimes if you can bring in exactly what you need, and what I mean is like less players, but in the areas you'd need, people are obviously delighted with that. This, I think, has been a decent window for Everton in terms of what they've done. Just the forward player would have been the cherry. We would have gone, we've done really well there to turn that round with a net spend, there I go, of like 15 million quid or something. To turn that whole team around virtually is decent. But obviously the forward is the one, and
we had the headroom in the regulations.
Mm.
And as you say, because I heard a couple of times today when I was listening in the car and stuff, well, the managers decide whether he wants that player type of thing.
Yeah.
And if he's been cautious that no, I'm not going to settle for nearly isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And that gives us buying power in the next window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
I think the January one fundamentally should be about emergency type stuff, which means you roll into the next summer with more headroom again.
Yeah.
So you're back to Ped and can you sort Andy Gordon now because you brought in, a second or third striker you didn't really want,
Zakaria has just failed a medical at Chelsea.
Who?
Has he? He's got a dodgy knee.
It's mad how many players are.
He's got a dodgy
3 or
knee.
4 have failed medicals, haven't they?
When he left Mönchengladbach, he'd had a big injury because I really wanted Everton to buy him at Mönchengladbach, and then he had an injury.
Yeah.
His knee, and when he went to Juve, I think they were a bit cautious.
That's 4 failed medicals by players this afternoon.
And you'd be gutted because that's it. It's 22.52 now.
Yeah.
So, Ozzy Dillon says, "Bad, do you think Ross could play off the wing if we signed him after the window?" No, mate. No. He's a ball carrier from midfield. No. Not for me, mate.
He's not coming.
Alan says, "Baz, do you agree by strengthening the centre of midfield? Surely that allows our forwards to play more forward, which hopefully improve their output." Hopefully. I think when Dom's in, I think he's capable of getting goals, but he also creates things for people. Not necessarily running and cross it and stuff, but knockdowns and taking people away.
Knockdowns are his strength.
Aren't they? And so you got to hope that Anthony Gordon will get more goals this season. Richarlison got...
do for him?
Oh my God. Haaland on the telly. Richarlison got 5 goals for Watford in his first season, and then the next one come to us and got...
Oh, Richarlison had a great start and then an awful end to his Watford career. Yeah. And we took a risk on him. And I remember people saying when we signed him, what are we doing spending this much money on a lad that's been dreadful for the last 6 months?
Yeah.
And look at what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still sticking up for him.
Yeah. Well, you are.
Wait.
I've blocked on Twitter. He's done.
Ped did.
He's done. Oh, Ped, mate.
Ped.
I've well swerved him. Doesn't play for us anymore. And
I haven't backed out, wouldn't you, tomorrow?
Touching the Tottenham badge and all that.
I haven't backed tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd have
no, I'm back.
I'd have Lukaku back.
If he comes to you in January and says, Baz, not getting a game here, mate, have me in.
Of course, I'll take him back. That's then. But right now, when he's in his Tottenham loving, no thanks, mate. No thanks, mate.
He'll tweet something about Everton on Saturday.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I just don't want to see. I like seeing all this stuff for Everton. I don't want to see that.
No, I know, yeah.
I don't hate him. I just don't want to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was special for us.
Yeah, leave him doing it. He's a proper piss boiler. So you've got to admit that. You've got to admire that from him.
That's why I like Maupay.
Do you know what I mean? Maupay is. People will absolutely
hate him. Everybody hates him. Ty despises him.
Yeah. I looked Tom Blue. Nails it. You couldn't write it. I signed Zakaria on career mode and he done his ACL after 2 games and out for 7 months. That's it, Tom. This is it. Lou Riddle's gone for it here. Says Garner will be the same value as Declan Rice in 3 years.
He won't. He won't because he's... Oh, you mean James Garner?
Yeah,
I thought you meant Adrissa Garner.
No. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
Adam Conroy says, with Chelsea or Arsenal really ever in for it?
I'm getting too confused.
Apparently
Chelsea
were. They came in and Arsenal as well. And
I can't. We need to have a serious conversation about having 2 midfield players at the same
Guy.
name.
You should call him Guy.
Guy and Garner. Okay.
Well, what are you going to call him otherwise?
There you go.
Okay, Everton have confirmed Andre Gomez has joined Lille on loan for the remainder of the season. So Everton saving more wages there, so there you go.
That's about 100 grand a week off, isn't it? Well,
depends what they're paying. Yeah. But it's money off the thing. It's money saved. Jez D says Barkley for a full-on Oddon wingy outside the closed Finch farm.
I've also linked an article that doesn't exist as well with the Gomez thing. So
okay.
That's nice.
But they've announced it, which is fair play. Martin says Rome wasn't built in a day, but all in all, if the door shuts now, what we have, then I'd say it's been a success. From how we looked in January to now we look now is a hell of a lot better. 7 out of 10 for me. If a striker come in, which I very much doubt, I'd give the window a 9. I can see a plan on the pitch, so more than happy how things have gone. Think back to the last transfer window. We didn't even have a manager till late on.
That is true.
Nailed. I mean, if you look right at the way they're trying to do things, I get everything you say, Steve, because you know that I agree with it. You know that I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't brought another forward in. But Frank Lampard might say, well, hang on, we've got Anthony Gordon, who we think will get double what he got last year.
He should be aiming for double figures.
Right, but say they were conservative and say, we think he'll get double what he got last year. So we got 4 last year. We think he'll get 8 goals last year. We've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who we think will get double figures if he stays fit, because he has done for a few years now. Last year it was an anomaly.
He 6, didn't he? Injured, he hardly played.
Important goals. Neil Maupay, we think he'll get 8 and 10. And Damari Gray got 7 last year. We think he can repeat that. He's already got 1 this season. And really scored at least the other night, didn't he? But, he's got 1 this season. We think we'll concede a lot less because the defence, we think's better. Our midfield is way stronger as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, we feel like we can manage games better. And what we're going to do is, over the course of the next few months, we're going to identify players who may well be available in January. At times, we'll play 2 up front, and it'll be Maupay and Dom, and we'll pack the midfield, and we'll do... And other times, we'll play 4-3-3, and Maupay might be asked to play in a wider role.
He's played in a wide...
He's played a wide role. We played for Brentford off the front row wide. And we've got Gray or Gordon on the other side, and the other one will be on the bench. And we'll try and manage it like that.
Yeah.
That is a way how... how you can get through games.
Oh yeah,
we've almost won games at the moment without playing with a striker.
Oh yeah,
haven't we?
Yeah,
so
we
all of a sudden, if you then drop 2 strikers in to that team, say, I know this is the massive sunny friggin' day plan here, right? But say that Rondon just happened to be our centre forward, and Everton had bought right, Maupay and Dominic Calvert-Lewin this window. Yeah. So you had them to come into the squad. We'd all be like, we've got 2 strikers coming in here. Do you know what I mean? I know that's ridiculous in some respects, and I apologise for. I'm probably just tired and being on all day, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. You're looking at the options rather than who we've signed.
Exactly. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
And you're dropping them in.
I agree. I do. I still think we're a little bit short, but
we are. No one could sit here and say we're not. Frank Lampard couldn't sit here and tell us we're not because
we'll see tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah, well, I think he'll probably say, look, we tried to do business and we couldn't get some done, and we didn't want to. We didn't, Everton are in a position they're in. Everton are in a position they're in because we've made mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
Right, financially we've made mistakes.
Oh yeah, shocking.
We've bought the wrong player. Yeah. We've got players in sometimes for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And that's why we've come to the situation today where we've haven't got enough money to bring in play, because players at the top end of the pitch cost money.
Yeah,
because they score goals, that they win your games.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's Lampard. This is where Lampard earns his money now. Really, finding ways around these situations, and like we've all realised this window isn't going to make or break Everton's next 2 or 3 years or year before they go into the stadium. I know a lot of people are holding their hats onto the stadium, and I do get that, but it's just like you said, everyone wants everything now, don't they? We're football fans. You have to be a bit realistic sometimes. We're in this, like you said, where people might not like it, but we are just an average at the moment, a mid-table team, and that's just the way it is. You look across the Premier League today. Not many clubs have done much really, which you raise your eyebrows and that's not a bad sign.
Over, by the way,
and the transfer window is shut.
There you go.
That's what I mean. So I'd be a bit more worried if other teams had done a lot more business today, and like they'd strengthened in certain positions. I'd be like, oh god, right, we're in a bit of strife here. Like, but I think, I think before the World Cup will give us an idea of whether it's worked or not, I'd say. Because
I agree.
If we're sitting there going into the World Cup second from bottom, then there's the issue.
Yeah.
But if we're going to the World Cup, say anywhere between 10th and 13th, let's be honest, we'd probably all take it.
Yeah,
we'd all take it now.
Absolutely.
But I think, like I said, the club will be judged. They've got to live and die by the decisions they've made. At the end of the day, we'll only know by at the end of the season or if it's worked or not.
Yeah.
If in, I don't know, 5 games, Dom breaks down again, then people got every right, I suppose, to question people. Then.
Yeah. I agree.
That's
but what if Dom, fingers crossed, what if the lad has a bit of normal look and just stays fit?
That's what I mean, yeah, exactly. Then the club probably should be praised for holding the nerve.
But we still need something in January. That's what we do then, don't we? We go in January, then we work to January. Just a few United fans on the Everton signed James Garner video we done, and someone said, I'm really sad we've sold him, such a dumb decision. Someone else said James Garner is more than good enough to start for Everton from the off.
It's down to the player, isn't it?
Good signing for you lot, says Adam, a Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
Jins says been watching Jimmy play since he was 15. His best role is in an 8. He's also made a point of having absolute stormers every time he's played Liverpool.
Well, he said, didn't he, on his interview, he's a box-to-box midfielder. That's how he sees himself. So, again, we're going to see from the club's point of view. With James Garner, would be very cautious in putting a lot of pressure on the lad straight away. He's going to come in and probably become a squad player for the first maybe 6 months, I'd say. He's not going to come in and go into Everton's first team straight away. It's just not going to happen. It's like Onana. We've signed someone 21 years of age. He's going to have spells where Onana might be struggling, so that might be Garner's chance to come in. So that's how Everton have got to work. And now they've got, what is it? We've got seven midfielders. Seven midfielders.
How many did we sign though?
8.
8.
Who am I missing?
We signed Tarkovsky, McNeil, Vinagre, Cody,
Onana,
Garner,
and
Viagra.
no, I'm missing one.
Vinagre.
No,
hang on. Sarkovsky, Cody, Vinagre
yeah.
in defence. Midfield, we had Maupay.
Oh yeah.
Justin on the super chat, thank you. Justin says, what's the best positions for the new midfielders then? So Garner's a 6 really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Even though I think he can do a couple of jobs, Garner, he's a 6. And then, like you just said, James Garner is box to box maybe, or
well, yeah, that's what I mean. You've
a
got
10 even at times, and a 6.
You've got Iwobi, Onana and Garner who are going to be probably the legs in the midfield, aren't they? Getting around the pitch. And then your James Garner and I suppose Decore when he comes back. The thing I look at, I know we've got 6, 7 midfielders now, but the way to look at it, I suppose, is that if one player goes out, it's the opportunity for another player to step in. Then this is we haven't been able to do that for a long time in midfield. Like I said, we started last season with Allen and Decore in midfield.
Yeah.
Now they're 4th and 5th choice midfielders.
And that's how you might say.
Yeah, 3rd or 4th. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Allen
will be probably
6th.
Would you say Allen will be ahead of Garner though?
No.
You wouldn't. No.
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 I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't. And that's what you have to do. You have to get players who are in your team. Sign a progression is there in your team, and then all of a sudden they're your subs. You know, your Everton could have a substitute bench of Tom Davis, Alan, Abdoulaye Decore, and James Garner.
Yeah.
Right? 3 of them were our midfield.
Yeah.
Under Carlo, that was Everton's midfield at times.
So would you say
now they're subs?
So would you say if we are going to play a midfield 3, would you say it's like Decore and Iwobi for one spot, then Onana, Garner, and probably Allen for the 6 maybe, and then
no, because I think I can see him transitioning Onana to the 8.
Can you?
Yeah, because he travels with the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it. I think Decore is good with the legs.
Yeah.
And I think if he's got help who've got legs, he'll be much better than he's someone who can break in the box. But I just see him as being sub.
Do you?
I honestly think for now his midfield 3 will be Idrissa Gana Gay, Onana and Iwobi. And I think then it'll be Garner, Decore and Allen.
But then there's that opportunity then, I suppose, isn't it? But after the World Cup, because obviously Onana, I imagine, will be going the World Cup. The first couple of weeks of him being back, that's where you probably the opportunity to play a Decore.
Play somebody else, needs your sub or whatever. Yeah, you've got to have options, haven't you? Ozzy Dillon says Juventus under 23 player Kwan Song Han is free agent, is striker, 22 years old, and is available. There you go. Everton need to get a move on then. If they're gonna do it.
Nobody went.
What's happened? No, I know.
We said before.
But he's a free transfer. She can go up. We never shut at just 11, do we? Behave yourself, John, man. Southampton have completed the signing of Coletta Carr, £8.6 million from Marseille. Croatia international signed a 4-year deal. Signed some players, haven't he?
Saints, yeah.
Ten Hag has said, we told you that Ronaldo was staying. It was never in any doubt. Kennedy has left Chelsea to join Real Valladolid on a 5-year deal. They've actually get rid of him. Aston Villa have completed the signing of Jan Bednarek on a season-long loan from Southampton. Martin Branthwaite has signed for Espanyol. Chong completes Birmingham move from Manchester United. Billy Gilmore's passed his medical at Brighton.
Vinicius has signed for
and Carlos Vinicius gone to Fulham from Benfica.
Vinicius Junior.
Spent a season on loan at Tottenham 2 years ago. Didn't he score against Marine? Sure he did.
Yeah.
Liverpool have got an option in their deal for Arthur for €37.5 million. So that's what's happened right now, and obviously more of them stuff will come in because
you might see like Warrington maybe tomorrow on loan.
As long as the deal sheets are in by 11.
Yeah.
Then it's done, isn't it? We'll probably do 10 more minutes and then we are out. It'll be we'll hear from Frank Lampard tomorrow, obviously. His Merseyside Derby press conference will be tomorrow. We'll have obviously updates over Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Garner.
He'll talk about the fitness
Mopay.
of Garner. Talk about Mopay. And we'll see whether or not, we'll see what happens.
He will.
And we'll take it from there. It is a bit frustrating because one more would have been.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon remains.
But Anthony Gordon's still here, and some
Anthony
people were
Gordon's
saying
still here.
last week that they'd rather not get anyone else and keep
I'll be
Gordon.
honest, I'm surprised he's still here after last
Anthony
week.
Gordon's still here.
I thought he was done.
I think Everton thought
After the Forest game.
thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of noise that Chelsea were going to pay 60 million for him, and I think Everton probably thought, right, okay.
31 million.
25.
Forest have spent 131
Forest are
million.
absolutely
And
done if they go down and don't come back up.
17.5 million for that striker he played against us.
See, I look at Fulham's business and I don't
They've
think
paid
it's bad, you know.
rising to
They
50
haven't
for
done
good
bad
twice.
business, Fulham.
Think how much money Forest have paid to agents as well.
Oh, yeah. The Forest have massively
I think
gambled, and if
Fulham
they
have
go
done
down,
business.
they're in trouble.
Fulham
I think Fulham have done alright business-wise there.
Do you?
Yeah, I think they've signed
Leno's a good
a bit of
sign.
experience, the Premier League experience. Signed experience at the back with Leno.
Not
the
happy
goalie.
though, Marco. Still wasn't happy. Still not happy. Yeah, Mitrovic gets injured.
No,
They're
yeah,
knackered.
that's the real.
And we're talking about
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
They're even lighter than we are.
Yeah.
But there you go. Let's see there if we got Stephen Bruce on the super chat. Thank you,
Steve
Stephen.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Steve
Says
Bruce,
where does Townsend fit in? When he comes
On the wing.
back in.
I'll be amazed if he gets offered a new deal. He's out of contract.
He's out of
isn't he?
contract in the summer, isn't he?
Realistically,
No, he won't get a
we
new deal.
shouldn't really be offering him another deal.
No, well he won't, will he?
No.
He won't.
Here he
Lee
is.
says
Scotty
Lee
£900
says buying the likes of McNeil and Mopay for 40 million is embarrassing. Wasn't 40 million though, was it? More like 30 million, really. Whether you agree with that or not, that's fine. I'm just saying it wasn't 40 million.
McNeil will do well for Everton, and so will Mopay.
C Skinner's on the super chat, thanks mate.
Well,
Says great job, cheers guys, great job again tonight. Overall, not a bad win though. Yeah, it's the forward. The forward would have been the icing.
Been the cherry.
It would have, wouldn't it? Would have been a cherry.
Would have been a little cherry.
It would have.
Little cherry on.
And we'll have to see what we do.
Just eat the cherry in the Bakewell.
I never used to, but I've
But
started to. And now I
same.
eat it just mixed in, and
Yeah,
it's
same.
on its own. It's
Glazed, innit?
Glazed,
Nice,
glazed. But if
lovely.
you eat it mixed in,
It's sound.
it's all right.
It gives it an extra bit of flavour,
Bit
doesn't
of
it?
flavour.
But I used
A
to
bit
bin
of
it as well.
Bit of a combination.
What about you, Steve?
Nah, eat the cherry, take it off.
Start eating it with it.
He's
though,
not
Steve.
got to that stage yet.
Yeah, no,
he
he's
will.
not. He will do.
He
He'll
will.
Get you just have
One day you'll just eat it and go,
Know what it
oof.
is? I don't
It's
think
nice.
he's had enough of them.
No, he
I
hasn't.
love cherry
No, he
Bakewells,
hasn't.
love
But
them.
then you need to start just try it next time. Just eat it
I'll
within
buy
the
one
cake.
tomorrow.
Cherry.
Eat
Yeah.
it within the cake. If you
And
still
it'll
go,
be a
"Nah,
life
I'm not having
changer."
it," I'll accept it. But I was the
Doesn't
same
taste
as
like
you.
a cherry.
My first job was remove the cherry, put it in the tin foil,
Yeah,
rock it
ate
up.
the
That was the
cake.
first job.
Yeah.
And then one day I think I was doing something and I bit it
By accident.
by
yeah.
accident, and I went, "Ooh,
Oh, that's all right.
bit
So,
naughty."
yeah, it
And
is.
then I tried it again. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Just adds another dimension.
It's fine.
Page's fella kit, by the way, for everyone
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, well that's fit.
Paige, you coming on for the last 5 minutes anyway?
Paige, come on for your last
Paige,
5
come
minutes.
on,
You've
come
had
on.
some requests, so
Come on, Paige.
Come and
Come
sit
on,
here.
Paige.
Everyone wants to see you, Pagey.
only if you bring your ping pong balls. No, come on.
Come on, Paige. Sit down, you.
Sit down, Paige.
You're up in the viewers here.
There you go.
There she is.
This has picked everyone up for the last
There
5
she
minutes.
is. Suddenly everyone's woken up.
So, no, we're not there. So,
No, we're
Paige,
not.
give a like for Paige while you're here. Thank you. Paige, what have you found? Transfer deadline day then?
Well,
It's been a long
I thought
day.
we were going to have a little surprise at the end, but
I think a lot of people
think
did.
so,
That's what
yeah.
they've been asking.
This is the surprise at the end.
No, I know.
yeah, I really thought we were going to have a little surprise. I was thinking these were all saying, oh, it's over and something's going to pop up, but it never.
Yeah. You did say we were signing Darren Watkins. Where's Darren Watkins? Where did you hear that from, by the way? Because wasn't it me?
No, I know. But have you found? It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Is this your first deadline day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And alas, she's made up. She's like, I'm not doing this again.
No, it's gone very quick.
Really?
Yeah. I
you
thought
think?
we were staying till 12 anyway, so.
Stay.
If we'd
Paige
have
wants to
signed,
stay
if we'd
till
have signed
12.
a striker, we'd have been staying. There's no question about it. Harry James says, can Paige play as a striker?
There you go.
Yeah.
More Page,
Why not?
please.
Yeah,
Paige
more
would leather
Paige.
Cam. No, nobody can leather me.
Janet Berry says hello, Paige. She's waving to you. AJ and the dad said more Paige, please. There you go. See. Yeah. Tom.
The balance.
It's in the balance. Hilarious.
You look good. I like that top.
Thank you.
It's nice.
You look good, Cam.
Cheers,
yourself.
Paige.
Warm and you've
You're
done
not
well,
making
Paige,
effort,
just
don't you?
because you've been behind there sorting
It's
that out.
warm. It's
Well
warm
today.
behind there.
It's
really
warm.
warm behind
It's
there.
warm behind
Ridiculously
there.
warm. The lights
It
are
is.
obviously warm.
Yeah.
You haven't had lots to drink.
No.
You
Just
should have drank more
coffees.
water. Coffee.
And
Coffees
Coke.
are alright, but you should have drank more
Coke.
water.
Coke.
So you smashed the caffeine today, is
Yeah,
what
I
you're saying.
have.
She's been
Isn't it?
using drugs. Is what she's
No, I haven't been
Caffeine.
using drugs.
If caffeine is a drug.
It is.
Is it?
Everything. Of course it
Caffeine's
is.
a drug, yeah.
Can you be
And you've
addicted to
needed it.
caffeine?
Yeah, I'm addicted to caffeine.
There you go. Got a drug addiction, as I said before. Thank you very much.
No further questions.
No
He's
further
doing all
question,
that.
you're on it.
Ozzy Dillon
David.
said Paige the MVP.
You are the MVP.
There you
Do you
go,
know what
Paige.
MVP
Thank
means,
you.
Paige?
It's like the...
Used to be in the
Oh.
wrestling MVP.
Oh, I thought an
Montel
MVP
Vontavious
was like
Porter.
an important person, like a
It is.
VIP.
It is.
It is.
It
It
is.
is.
The most
You're right.
valuable
Most
player.
valuable
There we
player.
Oh.
He did used to be in the wrestling though.
MVP. Mitchell says hello, Paige.
Hello, Mitchell.
And
No, that was Rob Van Dam.
where are we?
That was Rob Van Dam.
Please,
I'll show you the picture of MVP in a minute. Cam hasn't had a drink. No, Cam's driving.
yeah.
Yeah, your voice does sound...
Yeah, because I've just been to London and Leeds to watch Everton.
His
So
voice
I've
has
left me
still
voice.
got his voice
I've
has been
groggy.
left.
It sounds sexy when it's deep, doesn't it, Paige? Nice one.
Lou says
Appreciate
funny
that.
to see Southampton going for Lecroc from Lecroc to Caleta Car from one of the fastest centre backs to one of the slowest. He didn't get Lecroc, did he? So
Isn't his name LaCroix?
Lecroc. I'm calling him. He's
LaCroix.
posh, mate. that
LaCroix, isn't that what how the French say? Crocs?
Lecroc. Toffee Chaz says Paige is a free agent. Get her signed. Lots of people. Yeah.
You're getting some attention
people
here,
are loving
Paige.
it, Paige. Gary Ward says Toffee TV been great today. Fantastic work, everyone. Thank you, Gaz. Glenn Watson. See, Glenn Watson said, Paige on the Bakewell. Do you like Bakewell tarts?
Yeah, I do.
Do you
I
like
take the cherry off and
Oh,
put it in the bin.
see, they're not at the
See, that-
experience
to be fair,
level.
I know, but to be fair, we've done that.
Yeah, we've done that.
We've all done it. Steve Kelly's
Yeah.
still doing it.
Yeah.
Clooney. Still,
When I
the
used
Whittle Clooney.
the Whittle
I don't
Clooney.
like cherries.
The Whittle,
No, well,
the
I
Whittle
don't,
Batman.
but you know
No,
what?
I don't. Fans for him, Clooney.
Do you eat
Whittle
cherry
Clooney.
bakewells?
Do you eat the
Eat
cherry?
cherry.
Yeah.
That's where
yeah,
it's mad,
experience,
mate.
man.
Ned wouldn't know.
No, yeah.
Wait, does
They actually
cherry
do
fill in
Bakewells
it?
without the cherries on.
It's a good point.
Isn't the fill and cherry down?
There's a bit of cherry
It's a
jam.
bit,
in
well,
there.
it's
Bit of
like
cherry.
a,
Like a jam. in it.
it's stingy though, isn't it?
Jelly.
No, it's like a magic. Come on.
Do you ever have a Knickerbocker Glory and pull the cherry out and go like that with it?
There's cherries in Knickerbocker Glory.
Just asking the question.
I thought.
Next time you have a cherry bakewell,
Eat it.
the cherry because it's only
Whip
cut
it.
in half. Just have a bite with the cake.
No,
Honestly,
do it
it's
like
alright.
I'll have a go.
No.
Eat
Eat it with the cake. Eat it with the cake.
Lou
Harry
Ri-
Potter
yeah,
and the Wizard of Oz.
well done, Paige. Lou Riddle says Forest are so corrupt they just send all their players on loan to Olympiacos if they get relegated. There you go. I mean, that's not the first time that's been said today, to be fair. Did he save it or did he cause it?
No, he saved it.
Oh, because football went on lockdown.
The owner of Nottingham Forest gave COVID
Arteta, yeah.
to Arteta.
No.
Arteta then got the Premier League shut down, and the Premier League got the country shut down.
On my birthday. Can I add?
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
It was
There
my
you go.
birthday. It was the 11th. You always say the 13th.
Oh, wow.
Ned's ruining it.
Ned's ruining his chances. Ned's chances down the
You
drain.
be my best friend.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am the best.
Cam, you're
I
my
own
best friend.
everything. See that?
Graham
Right,
Wingate
nobody
says, great show. Yeah, I wasn't even listening to what you were saying. I just heard Ned start talking, and then that was it. Callum says, shame he didn't sign another forward yet. Absolutely. So yeah, there you go. Right, I think we're gonna close
the show
on that. Paige, do you want the honour of closing the show?
I will.
Off you go.
Right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Forgot there's no one behind
Oh,
me.
yeah.
You can't close the show yet
Nah,
till bed. I thought Steve Kelly was going to do it, but he was too busy. He was too busy with advertising coffee.
Go on.
Thank you for everyone tuning in to our deadline day today.
Hit like, subscribe.
Hit like and subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you're not loyal.
I thought there was a threat coming there. I thought there was a threat coming there.
Go on, Paige.
So yeah.
Stay
loyal and subscribe to Toffee TV.
Cheers. Fair play.
Stay loyal, man.
There's surprises there.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Peace.